values. It's Tuesdays. It's different on Tuesdays sometimes, and sometimes there's some technical difficulties, but I think we got it figured out. No echo.
Uh,
Brad's back. We can hear him. Cosmic was saying some awesome stuff. We want to get back into that, or Brad, if you wanted to get into your moment there, what you had to say, if you didn't forget.
Well, my moment got totally derailed where the CIA was trying to unplug me and
right,
make it so I wasn't going to
Yo,
say
I swear.
anything. So, yeah, let me get these quote tweets. Let's make sure we have some viewers, and then
bruh.
we'll give them a nice mental breakdown to realign ourselves, and then we'll maybe figure out what the fuck we're talking about and get on with the program.
When Cosmo and I would do these spaces and we would get on legit, like esoteric, life changing, emotionally controlling, like knowledge, spaces would freeze and drop every
Mm,
single time. Same Wi-Fi I've been on every time we've hosted a space together and done this live together, right? Which I haven't really had many issues. Last week I had a little glitchiness in the garage. I had issues, but I get bad Wi-Fi in the garage. I should have done the extension, whatever. But when we get on those topics, it's like the CIA or somebody's like, "Hey, no, don't tell people,"
they
with the
don't
pink
want.
middle finger.
Got to shut them boys down.
I ain't having it. I ain't scared. Bring that vein to my house. I'm Vicalicious, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You see that? V and the L. Bring it. Whoa.
What's up, Crimson?
Alrighty.
All right. Well, this is this. Oh, what did I do? Wait. This is awesome.
All right. So
All right.
maybe we'll get back on track here then. Now that we're all back in here, and I think everybody can hear me, I fucking hope so. Otherwise, this is a huge waste of time. So,
You're good.
horrible way to preface that, but let's just get into it. Before we start getting down the this wild world of remote viewers, the gateway experience, what we can do with our minds, and what this whole plane of existence really is when we're thinking about all this stuff and in just life in general. Sometimes I like to think, our mind is kind of like a garden. And now I'm going to say this in a mildly humorous way because I don't really like tomatoes. I don't really like onions. I don't really like, squash, a couple of things. I have my favorites. And I guess what I'm getting at, you know, it's it's up to me to decide what is in my garden. I don't need to listen to somebody
Mm,
else say, you need to have onions in there. No, I don't think I do, as a matter of fact. I just want to have my potatoes and corn. Okay. And maybe, I do need some more diversity, but you don't need to tell me what to do. It's on me. So what I'm kind of getting at is, just like the remote viewers who navigate the realms of intentions and focus, we too must protect our mental space or our mental garden. We don't know who is out there influencing you to try and do what for what reason. Protect your own mindset and understand your own goals. Um, just let's keep all that in mind as we're navigating this. We're not necessarily trying to plant seeds in your head or tell you how to think or feel. We are trying to maybe just open up to what's surrounding us. But let's use this all carefully as we navigate this world. Not as
I
good as
like that.
Well said. No, well said. It's important to that, right? Because there's one universal law for all dimensions of existence, if you're going to be weird with me, and that's the respect the sovereignty of entities, right? So that's respecting the free will and sovereignty of choice and thought that other people have. If you do that, you're pretty much going to do good out here. You're going to treat people the right way. You're going to treat yourself the right way. It's a great way to put it. And we're going to talk about all this like out of body energy. You're a soul. You're something more than just this body thing, and that gets into protection and all of that, right? The Gateway Monroe Institute, the first thing you do is a protection mantra, right? Which is in the one of the documents I have. Which, to summarize, the thing I use is basically like I'm a sovereign individual, and only entities of equal or higher vibrations with benevolent intentions are allowed to interact with me, right? That's where my permission slip is. If you have good intentions for me, and you're at least where I am or higher, which most of the universe is, right? Like we're at the bottom, we're humans. You're cool to come interact. I'm open. I'm ready to receive. But if you're not with the benevolent intentions and you're not at least where I am, like kick it, you out, and I think it's important to set some of those boundaries for yourself, whether it's just as a human or as you thinking you're something larger, whatever your belief system is. I think that's an important thing to do. So I like how Brad worded that. I have broccoli, carrots, kale, and spinach in my garden, and bell pepper, one big old bell pepper plant.
And don't
Nice.
you let anybody tell you need anything else in that sumbitch.
You're damn right. Bell pepper's been busting.
Well, baby girl can have some suggestions, I would assume.
She chose all of these. We're doing rainbow carrots.
There you go.
She chose every one of them. That's how we roll, bro. And they all sprouting, dude. I'm kind of excited. I know the gardening topic isn't the popular one, but I like my garden. I like it. It's good. So look. Here's where I wanted to start, because I wanted to get into kind of the basis of what this document is telling us, and where they get into. Isaac Bentov is somebody worth researching. He's a Russian scientist, I believe. If you're into this, you can download this document. You can DM me on Twitter, and I'll send it to you. But Isaac Bentov is a great person to research. He was an active participant in this. But I want to talk about where it starts. Interestingly enough, the first section is talking about the brain and hypnosis, right? Which is something I always thought was bullshit. I always thought that was no, I'm not in on that. But what it talks about is how your brain works, right? The left hemisphere is like your logic filter. Like information comes in and it's like, yo, yeah, okay, that's a squirrel. I recognize that. That thing could bite me if I try to hold it. We're going to just watch it. The right hemisphere is your creativity. It's your intuition. It's literally like the magic side, right? And I'm a left-handed person. That left hand is connected to this half of the brain more so. I'm a very intuitive, flighty, creative style type of person. I like chaos. I don't need the structure and the logic. If you're right-handed, it might be a little different, right? Because you're a little more attuned to this side. But basically, the hypnosis thing works because they use a tactic, right? Whether it's frequency, whether it's the watch to dull you almost to sleep, but they try to put this half of your brain to sleep. You want to get as close to sleep as possible to where it no longer is paying attention to what's coming in. It's just allowing things to pass straight through, and you plant the seed in here. That's how meditation gets so powerful. You hit a place where you're literally almost asleep, right? Your body's almost asleep, but your mind's still kind of there, and you're thinking about things. And those thoughts plant directly into that right hemisphere. They plant directly into where all the magic happens in your brain, and you can see those ideas. That's why you come out of it feeling refreshed. You come out of it feeling oh, I'm creative. Oh, I got this idea. I could write a song. Now I got all these lyrics. You bypassed all the logic. And I think just being aware that that's how it works, that makes a difference.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's interesting. I've been experimenting lately with lucid dreaming a little bit. Wake up in the morning. I usually actually wake up around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll spend maybe an hour just sort of laying there in bed, not quite asleep, not quite awake, but asleep enough to be vividly dreaming, but also sort of consciously aware that I'm awake. And I've been playing around with directing where those dreams go to. And they've gotten really interesting. And to this whole thing, I'd love to write a book about it, about going from the past and meeting people from my past life that I knew years back, integrating them into where I am now, and projecting into the future, and little things come and go throughout all of that. But there's this overall feeling of understanding a little bit beyond what my normal logical brain would how it would see reality from moment to moment. It connects time, and how time is not just a linear thing. So that's been a fun thing that I've been playing with, along the similar lines of how you fall in that place where both sides, both hemispheres can interact together and sort of plant seeds, like you're saying. I dig it. I love it.
I used to lucid dream a lot.
2 or 3 cups of apple juice before going to bed. Apple juice does some weird things to your brain. Puts you in a
Really?
total weird. Yeah. Here, let me pull this up because I see the faces y'all giving me.
That's a new one.
Hey, I don't doubt it. Never heard that one before.
I'll say
Yeah,
this while Brad's pulling it up. In your dreams, clocks are always weird. You're in your home, but
Mm.
it's not your home. Those are signifiers that allow you to realize you're dreaming. When I would see him, I would question the character in my dream, like, if this is actually my home, then I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and then I wouldn't do it, or the opposite, right? And I would do it, and I'd realize I'm dreaming, and then you got to learn to stay calm and hold the space. I call it holding the space. Let's apple juice.
key takeaways. Obviously, science. They're not
Google's.
going to say directly causes it, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no scientific evidence, but there is claims by some individuals, me included. I've tested this theory, and what I'll tell you is, look at your apple juice that you're getting before you're getting it. It doesn't say 100% apple juice, and you're getting that juicy juice, made with no, 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 no. I'm talking get you some apple juice, dog. Get you that real good with the vitamin A, where you're going to be feeling good, and it just kind of puts you in a more, what do you want to call it, lucid state, transcending state of mind.
Transcendental.
Um, there you go. And
I love you.
for me, um, when I get into like that REM sleep state, which is kind of rare with my PTSD and shit, when I get in there and I have those dream-like situations, that they can be a total blur. But with apple juice, I swear it's like, I sometimes it's scary because you can't get out of it, because like Corey was kind of hinting at, in a dream state, there is no such thing as time. It can either go as fast as your brain wants it to go, or it can totally lock down, and it can feel like 10 years or almost an eternity of a
Absolutely.
lifetime, um, where you can't pull yourself out of it until you find out why you're there. Or you'll continue to have repetitive dreams, in my experience. Um, and
We've
I don't want to
we've
say
talked about that, Brad and I. What's been really interesting is in these dreams, I will go to sleep and have another dream. And I've gotten to the point like layers deep where I'm like dreaming that I'm dreaming that I'm dreaming, and I wake up, but then I realize it's a dream, and then I wake up and it's still a dream, and then I finally wake up and I'm like, gotta pinch myself, like, is this reality? What's going on with these dreams? Why am I staying in this place where I feel my psyche, my brain feels like it still needs to be in that dream space? Like, what am I maybe not getting
see
to, like Brad's saying?
just to give some more detail. He told me he got some like crazy mushrooms from like Morocco or some shit. And when he told me that at first, I was like, "Look, man, I feel you. I've been there, but did you
It's not
take
it.
any of the Moroccan
No.
mushrooms to get
No, it's where's the place that folks are generally known for doing ayahuasca? Cosmic, you'll be able to.
The Amazon down in the
Yeah, like
Amazon.
deep in the Amazon
A lot of countries.
specifically.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
Morocco.
Amazon. They're the mushrooms. They're from the Amazon, and they're these little tiny, rock hard balls of a mushroom. And I'm close to. I was some of my upbringing in the Southwest was taking some mushrooms and thinking of them as an entity that you interact and
like
play with that has something to teach you. So you ask it to come and teach you. When I look at this entity, I'm still a little intimidated.
Well, once you're there, I mean, you can gain complete control. Like
Oh, sure.
I've broken down the dream and rebuilt the dream to do whatever the heck I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to stay calm, because usually you figure it out and you get all hyper and you wake up, and that's really important, because when we're going to talk about astral projection, you have to have the same amount of control over your emotions. The second you get overly excited when you realize it's happening, you're gonna pop right back. Because I've done it. I'm speaking from experience, but that space, I just call it holding the space. I don't know how better to describe it. When you're there,
That's a very good phrase for it.
I wanted to get to Niels Bohr. His son was talking about physics. I guess his son was older at this point, but y'all know Niels Bohr. We use his atom, his interpretation of the atom in chemistry, which is not his interpretation of the atom. He had a much more accurate one, which kind of is what actually drug me into this. Years of researching, when I was obsessed with reading everything for years, was learning about the electron, which is important to this also. But he told his son, he said, "You are not thinking, you are merely being logical." Right? So he was getting into that. You're just using this half of your brain. You're just filtering using logic, trying to solve these problems. You're not allowing yourself to tap into what's around you and think. Niels Bohr was the one in quantum physics that really showed the electron as a scatter plot, and was the one who said that it actually clicks in and out of existence. It disappears, we don't know where it goes, and it comes back. That was the moment that I was like, holy crap, there's something I need to learn. And that's what led me really on like an esoteric journey. I didn't think it was going to take me there, but it did. And those clicks, the Gateway Experience document gets into it later on, and it talks about those subatomic particles clicking in and out, basically being like how the dimensions of information are sewn together, right? Like how things overlap, that they're going there and they're coming back here, and it's like a needle on a sewing machine. It doesn't use that analogy, but I use it. And that's really kind of what you're doing when you're remote viewing, when you're astral projecting, when you're having these kind of like unique phenomenon experiences. Your consciousness, what you really are, you can call it a soul, a spirit, consciousness, light body, whatever, is taking advantage of that quantum movement and clicking to the other dimensions according to this document. That's really what it gets into. Or like you're channeling, you're taking advantage of that scene, and the information is able to come across back and forth. Which to me is kind of fascinating because it's something we know that happened. We can't really describe why, right? That's up to you. There's a lot out there, but we know it's happening, and we know that there's validity to a lot of these things. If you have sought confirmation, you'll find it, and it kind of explains a lot. And I think that, man, that's like stuff that had 28 to 31-year-old Sean just like mind blown, right? Mind blown. Stephen rolling his eyes over there. Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, Stephen, but it got me. What you rolling your eyes out over there for?
I don't need to say anything. You beat me to the punch with it, man.
What do you think the punch is, dude?
Well, me making fun of you is what you're talking about. But, I mean, like like that probability cloud of where the electrons could be. That's been things. So like, where is it? We don't know until we look at it. But if we look at it again, the only thing we really know is it's not going to be in that same spot.
Right. And the whole thing was, say, like quantum entanglement, and the premise in science of like it's not there until it's observed. And I think there's something pretty powerful about this, to say about that, because that's a lot about what you're talking there, Cosmic. And I think what you're sort of leading up to is the power of observation and focus of where you're putting your mindset at when it comes to reality or creating reality.
Have you heard Neil deGrasse Tyson's response to that? Or if Brad wanted to talk, you go.
Well, I wanted to simplify this here for some of the viewers like me, a real simpleton. So I understood the idea of what Iraq was and not being in America, right? But until I was there, that's when I said, oh, wow. It's actually real. And I know that sounds dumb.
No, it does not at all.
It's almost what we're talking about, because like that was almost it was never even a plane of existence that mattered to my realm of perspective, and we can call that ignorance if you want. I mean, we can also dial it back and remember I was 19 years old when I went there, so maybe there was a shell of ignorance, because none of that outside of where I lived, where I was, where I touched, where I was integrated mattered to my perspective. And it took a long time to really understand that, like, there's a lot happening here. I know that does not directly touch on, because I'm nowhere near as able to touch on the smarts of what you guys were talking about. We were going deep there. All right, let's get into Neil deGrasse Tyson, because I have no idea what he's talking about. What do we got?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna get into a little like the next step, because I stepped out the notebook because I planned. We do this plan ahead thing. But Neil deGrasse Tyson was asked about the slit experiment. That's the quantum physics experiment that we were touching on, where they shoot photons through these splits, and when you're looking at it, I might get this backwards. Correct me, right? I'm a dumbass sometimes. When an observer is watching the experiment, these photons go through these slits, and they do like a straight line through the split. Okay, it looks just like they went straight through. When there was not a conscious observer, you get an interference pattern, and they scatter. It's like they're going through at all these different directions, and you get some lines that kind of makes sense, right? Like these are higher probability, but you get shade throughout the whole thing. And scientists back in the Gap were saying that it was the consciousness of the observer. That's where a lot of this jumped from. Neil deGrasse Tyson says maybe it is. Maybe it is. He goes, but also maybe it's just like photons from your eyes moving the particles on a subatomic level.
Oh,
I disagree. I'm not an astrophysicist, a scientist. I turn valves and write poetry and play bad music. But I heavily disagree. But it's worth thinking about, right? Like I like opposing views.
Sure. Well, he comes from a very, straightforward scientific training type of mindset when he approaches those things. But I appreciate that he's willing to, throw in some cool concepts that pop up in his crazy mind, because who knows if maybe he's doing some mushrooms or smoking some weed too to come up with that shit, or it's just
maybe I've done just the right handful of mushrooms to maybe understand here, because at some point we've all maybe Steve Z, he just jumped into this. He had no idea the vision of what this show is. We all have in our head a vision of what's going on, but is it really what's actually happening? What are you perceiving? It could be totally different from the way that Cosmic's seeing it, the way that I'm seeing it. Honestly,
absolutely.
guys, remember, I'm 2 joints in now, so I'm definitely seeing this a little bit different than you guys are. So take that as you may.
A little bit.
But Neil may be onto something here, and like maybe I've done just enough mushrooms in my day to know. But we all have an image of what's happening here, and that image may be the energy behind what's creating your reality. Now, let's not just go jump off a bridge and test the theory of whether or not we can fly based off this, because you better be tapped into some real limitless beliefs before you even try this one. But
At least practice first.
On the show, do not attempt no dumb shit. We're just.
Hey, you mentioning though, Brad, that you're 2 joints in, and I'm not quite there with you, but I've been drinking on this here high 9.
Not that high 9.
That's pretty good stuff. I got the blackberry tonight. Blackberry. Caffeine free. That's okay. I had an energy drink earlier doing my test, but still good. So, I'm going to prop in there really quick and give a shout out to our sponsors.
I don't want to do a sponsor check, but man, if he's listening, Bronze, I need you, buddy. I got one more caffeine before the twerk off. I think it's going to be too late. Obviously, I need to just save that one for the twerk off. But
I'm calling the timeout. It's 9:45. You're listening to It's Different with all of the people you see in Cosmo and Cashman and Spirit, where we try to be non-niche driven and we try to deliver some like value added life, but we try to have a good time. We were a little heavy tonight, and that's okay. But Brad, when is the twerk off? I'm not out of the continent anymore. I'm here now.
A little bit more finite details. FL Dad, he is in the chat. Now I believe tomorrow at some time they're going to be finalizing the overall structure. We could go for some shrooms. I hear that. One of these days, when legalities, we might have a company and brand that we'll plug right in this very moment. Nevertheless, over on FL Dad and the Boys show, they just changed it. I almost said their old name. On the Boys show podcast, they will be hosting the twerk off with Bronze High 9. We'll likely do a dual stream, push it over here, but it could just get stupid and chaotic. So just expect the quote tweets. Tune into the Boys, and everybody that tunes in. I want to say there it is, 8 p.m.
Thursday.
Thursday.
I was about to ask him.
Everybody who's tuning in and is a part of the community fund, we're giving out cases, okay? Straight up cases of the High 9. And if I win, my team, we get to give out 10 cases. If they win, they get to give out 10 cases. But whoever loses, that team, they still get 5 cases. So we're doing 15 cases overall, right? Count them up. 10 for the winner, 5 for the loser. So either way, everybody's
it's like 2 kegs,
except for whoever the loser is. We got
Not
Big
Brad.
A. ooh, I forget the statistics. I want to say 6'5", 6'6", 350 pounds, a big old man.
At
And
least
you know,
serious voice.
I personally, I'm 5'9". I'm 200 pounds. I'm your average rando Brad. Um, so
Still sexy. You
I'm
have a
gonna
nice
have
ass. I've seen it.
I've posted a lot of it, and I'll say it like it is. The other men, there's men who like men, then there's men who don't. All the men are supportive. First off,
There's men
which
who can appreciate it, like me
and then
and Steven.
there is the men who like the other men, and they send me nice DMs sometimes, and they say you really got that cake, dog, and I'm like, respect. You could have said that meaner. Respect.
Booyakasha. You know what I'm saying?
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
I don't want to say I embarrassed them because that's not correct. As a matter of fact, I didn't do anything. I was there for 15 minutes of the show. The characters came on. Giorgio did not show up. He's in a whole different realm, where he's taken on motivational speaking courses. He's acting really weird and funny. We're gonna have to see how this goes. I think
That's
there's
a
a
lot of
grift
lube.
attached to it. Not trying to give too much away, but we're gonna figure it out over time. Dale and Brenda went on
That's a lot
the
of
FL
lube.
Dad Big A show. Oh, Jesus Christ. They changed the name. It's the Boys Show. Holy shit. Sorry, guys. So I went on the Boys Show, and nobody really beats Shaggy in the Shaggy Showdown. We got some pretty good questions in there. We were doing different music genres and things like that. But Dale Dick Boomer, he knows his 90s country boys. And let me tell you now, you want him to know what country song it is, he got it on lock. And
Well, maybe we need the country battle. I came up on it.
tic tac toe, I was very strategic in the way I ticked my tacks.
Got
I got out of
opposite
there with
corners.
W. Yep. So we can look forward to FL Dad singing "I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt" here in a couple days on Twitter, thanks to me. So if you wonder why he's taking off his shirt and being extra flamboyant, you're welcome, America.
Nice.
Not tonight. Maybe second hour. I'll show you mine. I've done it before. Dude, I'm fired up. I get to be here, so I'm kind of excited for that. I want to see the
I
twerk
really
off.
want to go back to the fact that, like I say, the characters won, because like I want to reinforce when I get in the characters, I have no idea. Like I really cannot remember much of anything last night because like I'm just up there just vibing, having fun.
You're channeling the character.
Yeah, totally in different energy. I don't.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, I don't know. Dale whooped some ass. He cleaned that fucking house.
I'm ready to see this keg. I'm ready for them to take 15 flats and fill up a keg and do a high 9 keg. Keg stand the high 9. If I was in person, I would do that. You know, I ain't as good as I once was, but I got it once.
For somebody who doesn't smoke now because of the firefighter thing, I'm fucking these, which I'm still good to drink these, because I feel all right. Like I could respond and still be, able to do the job. But these things give me a nice buzz. I think a keg and you'd be, oof.
Yep.
I don't know.
Right. I want to throw a thought pattern. We're 8 minutes till we take our break. I got to change my camera battery. We got all TT. I want to throw this thought out for people to sit on. It's the last box on my front page. That's really why. But also, like, this takes a little processing. In the document, in the first half where they're explaining things, they talk about the proposal of the conscious mind. Okay. And here's the quote. The mind is also a hologram that attunes itself to the universal hologram by the way of energy exchange. And they say that time, the only thing that time is a measurement of change. That's the only way time exists. It's not like a linear thing. It's not like a spherical, we're passing through a thing. It's a measurement of change. And that's why you get to the masters, right? They say like time isn't real, the past, the present, the future. It's like a disc. It's all happening now. You hear all this talk about a matrix, right? Like, hey, Andrew Tate, we're in the matrix. Fuck you, Andrew Tate. Although he says some smart things that I do agree with, but also like he can kick my ass for $100 grand. I'm in.
but also he throws out some really weird shit sometimes.
He
Like
does.
that
Yes.
Hulk Hogan or Megan Fox or whatever
Yes.
that was a weird analogy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying if the money was right, I'd let him kick my ass. You know, I've been in probably 50 to 75 fist fights. You know, I'm not gonna last more than 2 seconds. But like, if they pay me, I'll take a concussion. You know, I'll break a bone. I'm good with it, dude. If I can get out of shift work, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right?
fucking in.
Hey.
So Andrew Tate, if you're seeing this, I'm scared because I'm saying this publicly, but like, make me famous and kick my ass and let's make some money, dude. I'm in on that ride. You can kick a little fat Cajun's butt. You know,
I'm
I'll
pretty
throw
sure
up what I
I
got.
can make both of the Paul brothers at the same time. So
I'm in on
just
that.
throwing that out there.
Let's
There you
tag
go.
team wrestle them,
Let's get it all
WWE
going.
style.
Dude,
Ooh.
I
Let's-
want to be a part of that.
Oh, let's
I'd
get
be in.
famous. Let's tag
Get me
team.
out of the kitchen.
I saw the video today where the midget was wrestling and he wedgied the girl and stuck his finger up her butt and then gave it to the ref. We can do that.
And they
You
say
know?
wrestling's not real.
I'll stick my finger in there again for the right money. I goosed a DJ one time. I got kicked out of a bar. I goosed the DJ. That's a whole nother story. I was on tequila. I'm not allowed tequila.
It's a story for sure.
But like this
You make me crazy. Sorry.
this consciousness hologram, I wanted to touch on it before the break because I want you to think about that, because a lot of the ancient teachings and the modern spirituality teachings, which I think are a little got to be careful who you're listening to, take it for yourself, but we talk about vibrations and everything is vibrating, nothing's at rest, everything's at movement, and it's really just talking about how when this thing is attuned with an information level of vibration at this thing that we exist in, you fucking tune in. You're a part of it. You connect with it. And we're going to talk about the holographic nature of the universe after the break. I got a metaphor from the document. I want to use their metaphor because it's perfect.
That's awesome.
And we're going to get into that. But I want people to sit on that for a second. And if the Tate brothers want to kick my ass, or if the Paul brothers want to tag team me and Brando, like tag team wrestle. I can't speak for your sexual life.
Clarify.
For the money, I'm in, dude. I'll put up a hell of a fight, dude. I'll bite like a gator. Steven, what you think? Are you in?
Wrestling sounds better because they can script the ending and I'll play along and it'll be fine. Sorry, go ahead.
We ain't scripting it if we doing it.
Oh yeah, I don't know who these people are you're talking about. Like, the names kind of make sense, but like, I have no idea. I have no context of.
Steven actually
Tate
is Dale, by the way. He's like 54.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back after break with at pre-show we said Dale was gonna be here for right up the second hour. We had those technical difficulties in the beginning, so we're gonna get a little bit more into the information of what the heck we're dealing with before I totally derail us and talk about how the CIA is trying to control everybody and has been oppressing us for the last 50 years. No big deal.
And then we're going to get into like my experiences. I want to share with y'all astral projection, energy healing, like ailments in my body that should not have healed like they did. Like seriously, I want to share that because I want people to know, hey, all I can do is sound like a crazy fucking idiot, or you can say, man, maybe there's something to it. I'll try it, but you have nothing to lose. All I can do is embarrass myself, but I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to speak from my experiences, and I think that's valuable, right?
Before we go to break, Cosmic, this conversation that you're touching on reminds me, and I played it before on X, one of my favorite quotes by Jim Carrey. So if you don't mind, I'm going to bring it up real quick.
Who did not commit suicide? I found that out earlier this year. I thought he'd been dead for like 5 years.
Yeah, I heard about that shit too.
That's just
all
me.
Right, so
thought he was
let's
dead.
see if I can get this here.
Couldn't hear you, Brad, but I agree with you.
Maybe they cloned his ass.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Maybe I remember the real timeline.
Yeah, Katy Perry, she got cloned too.
What is this? Is this the Pope?
That's a painting of his. You can watch the whole video. Does a commencement speech, but this is what he says. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Psychedelic vagina.
Painting is one of the ways I free myself from concern, a way to stop the world through total mental, spiritual, and physical involvement. But even with that comes a feeling of divine dissatisfaction, because ultimately, we're not the avatars we create. We're not the pictures on the film stock. We are the light that shines through. All else is just smoke and mirrors, distracting, but not truly compelling.
So it goes further. It's pretty wild stuff, but it's definitely a video worth watching. He touches a lot on that kind of stuff, and just you talking about it made me think of that quote of his. No,
I like that. I'm trying to get this Manly P. Hall quote while we got like 2 seconds that I posted before.
3 minutes is so awkward because it's like, it's only 3 minutes. We can't really do anything, but at the same time, it goes so slow in real life time.
Where is my Manly P. Hall?
Just dragging.
The time dilation. That's what we're talking about,
absolutely.
Right?
Here we go.
In the time that we're living in, you can get this sent right to your door. It doesn't matter what state you're living in. THCA, CBD products, brought to you by Cheddar. Use that code high value, and you're getting 10% off. Okay, and I'm telling you right now, it don't matter what state you're in. Actually, double check Hawaii. I don't know how that works. There's a whole boat involved there.
All right, what you got for us, Cosmic? Then we'll go to break.
Look like a bunch of smiling dickheads with the news I got.
So Manly P. Hall's like high-level author, Mason, whatever, like worth listening to his lectures. But he says, the person who cannot use the body to serve the purpose of the being in the body is at a massive disadvantage. And I think Jim Carrey was running off of that. Carrey, obviously, I've heard a lot of his stuff. He's read Manly P. Hall. He's listened to lectures. Powerful quote.
Can you put that in simple people terms?
Basically, what we're saying is what you are is not this personality structure. Right now, yeah, I'm in this body. I'm Sean. I'm Cosmic Adonis. I'm having this life experience. But what I really am is this eternal consciousness, this eternal energetic existence. And I need to realize that and use that to my advantage in this personality structure as Sean.
Yes.
Power.
Yes.
Strong power. Painted nails.
Right now.
Stevie's almost as sexy as Cosmo. Almost. Because your hair. He has the beard, but you have the hair. And he's got that neck tattoo is fucking hot, dude. I ain't gonna lie. I like that neck tattoo.
I've got 2 necks to tattoo, so like
all right. I think that's a good time right now to go to commercial. We'll be back in a few minutes. People are going to do their thing, and we will see you all soon. Wait.
A second. Are we going to accidentally go over the 2-hour mark tonight? Because it feels like it. I feel like we still have a lot jam-packed. I'm okay with that.
Probably. I don't give a fuck.
If
you don't give a damn, I don't give a fuck.
If you don't give a damn. Okay, let's go to break. We might come back for more than an hour.
Here we go. And...
Toasting to the highs with every sweet drink. Hot knives and alchemists watch the world blink. Beverages so fine they lift you above. With THC, honey's a potion of love. Raise up your cup, let the good times flow. Hot knives got the secret, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Roll it up, light it right, let's ignite this night. DOS filters got the goods, everything feels so right. From carbon to the paper, every puff pure bliss. With the roller in hand, I just can't resist. Ease your mind, elevate your vibe. DOS filter, the choice you make for the crowd. Manifested greatness, yeah, it gives me chills. Rise up, keep you yeah. First step in the game, we innovating and creating. Chiba Pest the name, got the flavor that we're facing. High quality vibes, NFTs with a twist. Grow your own herb, it's a cannabis bliss. NFTs with utility, it's more than just a trend. Chiba Pet's the vibe, coming right with the best. High quality dreams, we're above all the rest. NFTs shining bright, in this garden we trust. Grow your own herbal kits, it's a must or bust. We elevate our life with Reno and Cashman. We elevate. I got that sticky, inky cheddar weed delivered straight to my door. Ain't gotta leave my house no more. Just sit back, relax, and feel the soul. need to worry. Got the sticky icky delivered in a hurry. I'm living the dream, feeling so free. Thanks to my shadowy delivery. Elevate our life with Rendo and Cashman. We elevate our life with Rendo and Cashman. We elevate our life with Rendo and Cashman. Toasting to the highs with every sweet drink. Hot knives that alchemists watch the world blink. Beverages so fine they lift you above. A THC honey's a potion of love. Raise up your cup, let the good times flow. Hot knives got the secret, come on let's go. Come on let's go. Roll it up, light it right, let's ignite this night. DOS filters got the goods, everything feels so right. From carbon to the paper, every puff, pure bliss. With the roller in hand, I just can't resist. Ease your mind, elevate your vibe. DOS filter, the choice you make for the pride. Manifested greatness, yeah, it gives me chills. Rise up, keep your head. Yeah. First step in the game, we innovating and creating. Chiba Pest the name, got the flavor that we're facing. High quality vibes, NFTs with a twist. Grow your own herb, it's a cannabis bliss. NFTs with utility, it's more than just a trend. Chiba Pet's the vibe, coming right with the best. High quality dreams, we're above all the rest. NFTs shining bright, in this garden we trust. Grow your own herbal kits, it's a must or bust. We elevate our life with Rendo and Cashman. We elevate. I got that sticky, inky cheddar weed delivered straight to my door. Ain't gotta leave my house no more. Just sit back, relax, and feel the soul. I inhale the sweet aroma and feel the weight lifts off my shoulders. This cheddar weed, it's got me feeling right. I'm floating on a cloud all through the night. No need to stress, no need to worry. Got that sticky icky delivered in a hurry. I'm living the dream, feeling so free. Thanks to my shadowy delivery. Elevate our life with Rendo and Cashman. We elevate our life.
All right, so we are back. DGen Hour, best time. It's different. Welcome back to Higher Values. Hopefully you're still tuned in. We got Cosmic here, getting ready to light up the smoke. Let's bring Stevesy back in. We got Brad in here somewheres, I think. Maybe we got Brad. I don't know if it's going to be Brad. We got Brad with the tinfoil hat on. He is ready.
No. What are we doing?
He is ready for this conversation. Let's go.
I thought we were talking about the CIA, reading thoughts, being aware of who was influencing our brain, and I figured it was time. I was not getting interfered with anymore from the CIA. So
Go outside, nerd.
yeah.
Now, is tinfoil enough, or is it got to be like, you got lead underneath there, or?
Not that lead.
Well, I think we'll cover that a little bit later. Because I'm just doing the bare minimum. You know, I think this is going to be enough.
Just
I
doing the
hope so.
bare minimum.
You know, I think we'll find out, you know, maybe more later on if I'm doing this for my protection or for my own benefit.
I believe in it, but just a little bit. Just enough to do the bare minimum. Is that underwear?
Tinfoil underwear. There might be something there.
Copper underwear. I'd wear that. It is underwear.
Hey.
Nice. Thong. The thong.
Oh, no. Don't damage it.
Not the protection. That's that little helmet, dude. Not the helmet.
All right, we're locked in. We're ready to go.
Are we loaded? Oh, you're loaded. I know that.
I'm safe from Hillary Clinton. I can't even. I'm so fucking Midwestern. I cannot say Hillary. Jesus Christ. I can't even say rural. Rural.
Rural.
Like you live in the suburbs.
Bro.
I live in a rural area. You know what I mean?
Bruh, look, I grew up outside New Orleans, so I have New Orleans talk, which is different than West Bank, different than Louisiana. They make fun of me at work because I say water. I drink water. I think normal people say water. I can't do it like the weirdos do. I say daughter, not daughter. No, there's somebody getting some drugs. And I say Iowa. I think people say Iowa. I don't know. I used to say shork. I finally got to saying shark normally in my natural vernacular. So I feel you, dude.
It's definitely shark. I
I'm
hate
not-
to tell you that. You were
I'm not
wrong
like
on shark.
I was wrong on shork. The rest are okay there.
Yeah, water. Yeah, I drink me some water.
I
Sometimes.
drink water, dude. At work, they're like,
Cold
drinking that
water.
weird stuff. Bunch of cockfuckers. I love them. Love you, Trace. Love you, Chandler. Trace is watching. I tried to get him to come on tonight, but he was busy. Oh, I got a life to live.
Oh,
We
jeez.
ever figure out with that guy who was pissing all over his hands and not washing?
Yeah,
I think
so
exaggerated some of that.
I might not have went to Columbia, right? Because that got canceled, right? I wasn't supposed to be here tonight, but I'm here. I'm gonna be here next Tuesday too. I wasn't at Columbia. Baby girl got like fever and sick like 6.5 hours for the flight, and it was $870 to change dates on like 5 different dates, and we didn't know what she had, right? So we're not going to put all that pressure on. We spend an extra grand-ish, and we don't know if she's got pneumonia or the flu or strep. That's not going to be ready, and then we got to fly there. We were like, nah, fuck that. So we called 2 people. The first person said flight credits. The second person said, I'll put you in for a full refund. They'll review it. We'll see what happens. I said, all right. So I haven't been at work to see no hand wash guy who just like, God, when I'm days, he's nights, but he swaps to days all the time because he steals overtime from people because he's just an asshole. And he spits these pools on the smoke pen. Stevesy might have seen these like spit pools on. It's disgusting. But when you don't wash your hands, you make those kind of life choices. So wash your hands, people. Wash them.
Yes, please.
I bet he cuts everybody off in a merge line too.
And probably doesn't even realize it, dude. He's oblivious. Like, it's hard to be mad at him because he's stupid.
Right. Look at me saving time. Everybody else is so stupid.
He's ignorant, man. It's not his fault. I'm ignorant to a lot of things. It's not my fault. I try to learn, but I take responsibility for that, though. You know, that I'm ignorant to things. I think that's called like, Steven, what do you call that? What is that called?
Oh, you're just like a useful idiot.
Well, I can barely hear you now. I heard you good before.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I can hear you, but not great. It's just that kind of. There we go. It's just an adult.
With a tinfoil hat. The CIA's intercepting his data.
Yeah,
I tell you.
they're on to me, I think.
Those mother lickers. Still ain't scared though, bro. I ain't scared at all. You know where I'm at because you listen to my shit. I curse you out on my phone once a week in the car. I curse out the government, the FBI, the CIA, all of them. I know people in the FBI, and I tell them I curse y'all out on the phone. Come fuck with me. They laugh. They're like, keep it up.
Right now.
It's true. I've met these people.
They're real. I ain't bullshitting, dude. I don't come here with bullshit. If I tell y'all something, it's real, right? Unless I'm like, oh, I'm joking. But like, usually my jokes are sadly usually real too.
Yoella shouts out. She says she hopes she feels better soon.
She's doing, dude, by the next day. Like, she's got a cough. I'm watching the baby monitor a lot. She's got a cough. She's not perfect, but she's a lot better. If this would have happened Friday night, come Saturday night, we'd have flown out Sunday morning. So we took it. Me and my wife both took it as this was like the only thing that would have stopped this trip happening at that time, being severe enough where we took it as a message like, hey, maybe you're not supposed to be there right now. So we're at peace with it. I'm still taking some days off, still enjoying some free life. She took Monday and Tuesday off. I encouraged her to take Wednesday off. So they're expecting 2 weeks. Well, we need the money, and we kind of do, but like at the same time, like we need sanity and rest, you know, like fuck that money. We're going to figure it out. I ain't going to sweat it. That's just me. It's just me, dog. All right. Brad, what we doing? Where we going?
Well, I think we got to get this train back on track slightly
Chugga
before I
chugga.
derail it.
Choo choo.
So where the hell did we leave off before we went to break here?
We left talking about
Why
the
is this on again?
because we were. Let me go to my notes, motherfucker. We were talking about the consciousness matrix, how the mind and the universe are like frequencies, and we tune in, and you can gain information that way. You can send information that way. There's a lot more to this world than like the personality structure that we're in. We talked about the reality that we're likely some energetic being that came in here to experience being a human on Earth at this time with this personality structure, with probably, in my opinion, the parents you chose, some traumas you chose, some very hard steps in life that you chose to get to. Now, you can also bypass these things. You know, you can make some choices to get around them. You can change it. You have sovereignty, free will. But I do think we chose to experience a lot of the difficult things in life for reasons, right? And my whole thing is we come to Earth to find how to love through the trauma, to find gratitude and love in those moments. Because once you do that, you don't get those same problems again. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but like, oh, this has been happening for years. And then I finally accept it and I find some love and gratitude for it and I learn from it. I don't get that problem, at least not severe anymore. It's kind of like validation to me.
My dog agrees with you.
Your dad or dog, whichever one that was, is an intelligent one.
That was my dog. Maybe my dad talking through my dad talking through my dog there.
You never know. I like it.
Know.
I like it. Brad is doing something there, sexy. Is that Gentleman Jack?
No. This is the I don't think it actually is from Japan. That'd be interesting.
Steven perked up at that one.
It's the Suntory Toki whiskey. This is a pretty
Toki whiskey.
Whiskey that goes with just about anything, and by just about anything, I mean it goes perfect with this high 9 beverage.
Yes, good combination there.
Just drop that baby right in there.
Bro, that was smooth.
We got me a nice little old fashioned with the blackberry. Boy, let me tell you, it's different.
It's different, bruh. You just like double entendre that shit. You know what I'm saying? You double entendre it. You fuck Drake.
Layers,
I like
layers
it.
on layers.
That thing harder than Oreos double stacks. You know what I'm saying? Like we're stuffing everything into fucking one combo layer. Just promo, shill, promo, but at the same time,
that one was smooth. That one was very smooth. If we can, Steven, if I can hear you, I've never asked you this, right? And we've known each other 2024, like well over 10 years, 37, 27, 21, 22. Yeah, whatever. It's been a long time. That stuff I was saying, right? Like before the whiskey high 9, like, what do you think about that? Are you open to sharing your thoughts on that kind of stuff? I mean, I would love to hear.
About what specifically?
Like, what are we? Why are we here?
Oh, we're, I think, I mean, there's tons of possibilities, but like, it's definitely like a source consciousness being experienced objectively, like one, like if you zoom out big enough, we're one, like as we are, like earthlings, earth creatures or whatever. You zoom in enough, we're one, we're atoms, we're all of that. Like, so we're one, consciousness being experienced like subjectively.
I like it. We're on a very similar page. I mean, I knew we were, like we could talk about it because we've talked about some stuff like this, but I never got like a where is Stevesy at? I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that because not everybody would.
I gotta say, Cosmic, you got the headphones on, and it sounds like you heard Stevesy. I know Stevesy, you might have changed devices during the break. Riverside
Did the batteries die?
Thing.
Or changed microphones on the laptop from the headphones to the laptop, or the batteries died.
No,
one of those two things probably happened.
They might have lost their juice, so I'm gonna see if I can bump them a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
no problem. But Cosmic, if you just want to maybe like concisely reiterate to us what Stevesy said, because I'm super interested in hearing like his opinion on what he had to
Yeah.
say there.
I mean, he was pretty on par with what I was kind of saying earlier, with his own perspective, right? His own little flavor and his own seasoning on it. But he was saying like there's probably like, I'm probably gonna get it wrong. He can shake his head, but like a source consciousness, whatever you want to call it, God, whatever it is, doesn't matter the label. But like we're probably like pieces of that fractal down, right? Like a holographic universe, because I'm about to tie it into the document because we're all kind of there. And we came here to experience that and reflect that information back, right? And there's like some kind of connective line going up and down to a greater or lesser degree.
Yeah, you had
Nice.
you that last part is important, the connection.
Nice. I
All
like
right,
that. I
so
like your use of the word fractal. I think that's a very good term to help emphasize what we're talking about. You know,
the way I break it down is like there's whatever the thing up here, the real thing, and it's like if that life force, that consciousness, we're gonna use consciousness, went through a prism and then spread out to like 3, and those 3 hit a prism and spread out to like 3, right? And that's like the different levels of information and beings or whatever you want to call them. And then it hits like our higher, what they call like a higher self, and you call it whatever you want, I don't care, but that'll fractal down one more time to us, and we have that connection line moving up. And so it's a literally fractal, which makes it a holographic universe. And it's interesting because the Gateway Experience talks about this, right? And Brad Dale, whatever, is about to tune in, but they use this, right? Okay, so if you make a hologram, all right, and the metaphor they use is if you throw a rock in a pond and it splashes up and it makes this ripple effect, right? Like let's say you could freeze it. You could freeze that splash and those waves and make that the hologram. Okay, I think we can all visualize that to an extent. If you were able to take a tiny piece away from that hologram, if you could like, oh, I just broke off this like millimeter by millimeter cube, right? Even tiny. All of the information of the entire hologram is in this tiny, tiny piece, just to a lesser degree of clarity. That's how a hologram works. The information of the whole is all in every tiny piece of information, but it's a lesser degree of clarity. It's harder to see it and get to it, right? That's what we are. We are a piece of the whole to a lesser degree of the clarity. So that's why there's like separation, right? But we can tune into it. That's why I made the post this morning about looking within, because it's all there. It's a lesser degree of clarity. You got to look. You got to get yourself attuned, right? To attune that mind, to attune that to that holographic universe. But it's all in there. There's nothing missing. All the answers are there. The information's there. You have to ask for it. You have to look for it. You got to experiment and ask for confirmations. But this document, from all the scientists they talked to and the Monroe Institute and all this stuff they went to, basically says that's how it works. And you can go dig this out from a lot of people and you're going to get almost the same exact thing. So there's that, right? That's the thing.
that's awesome. I love that. It's very interesting. I like how you break it down into the smaller pieces are still the whole, but just with less clarity.
And that's us.
And
That's what that's the
remember the lizard people are out there controlling our subconscious. So we have to
you're trying
really
to.
look deep within
They want to.
in order to find these answers. So
But you know what? You use that protection, that energetic protection I talked about, they can't get to you because you're a sovereign motherfucker.
you get yourself one of these patented lizard blockers, and you're going to be good to go.
Fickalicious.
Now,
Do you get that on Amazon or?
well,
Yeah, where did you
what
get
I
that?
realized very quickly
Prime Day?
as I started writing this out was, well, shit, this is going to be backwards. So I basically stopped caring halfway through and was like, well, it is what it is. So next time, I want to say this is probably going to be reinforced in the future, and it's going to come back, but it's going to have a nice plaque, you know, with the lizard blocker right on the front. Let everybody know
I see.
no lizards.
I see lizard though. I feel like we got a new character in the making here, Brad.
Can the
Well-
Pleiadians and Arcturians get in, but the reptilians bounce off?
Correct. This is just a lizard blocker.
That's sexy.
It is
I like that.
Specifically.
I got a mental, spiritual boner.
It does not
I
defend
do.
against all remote viewers. It does not defend against the white aliens who may be trapping us in this circle rotation. Just the lizards.
Okay.
I like it. I respect that, dude. That's hot.
Hey, man. Different hat for each occasion, you know?
Looking at these documents, I was gonna pull some stuff up, but we've kind of like talked about it. We've talked about it. It's in there. If you want to read it, it's in there. If you're missing page 25, I have it. Send me a DM.
Pull up some of them them things and let's cross-reference that while I go put on a shirt.
All right, so look, we'll do this. I'm gonna pull up presentation mode. No, that's not the button. Screen. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna pull up the actual document right now. Share mode. So let me come back here. You can see it. You can see what I'm doing. All right, we're gonna come down here a little bit. What's my page number? 20. I want to go to 23. So we're gonna go to 23. You get some graphics in here. You get a lot about frequency, a lot about the brain, a lot about the Bentov, the echo, the bifurcation echo is really cool. We're gonna talk about that for a second. I could probably type in 24, but that's okay. All right, so look, I want to talk about that bifurcation echo thing because, like, what Isaac Bentov had got him to was, you know, you're trying to meditate, you're trying to get in this transcendental state that takes like people 20, 25 years to get to, where they use the hemisync tones, which is like a tone here, and you hear the resonance between the two, and it puts you here on this plateau in the middle.
Oh.
And your aorta goes down from the heart and it splits. It goes down and it splits at the legs. So when that blood flow, that heartbeat blood flow goes down, there's an echo that comes back up and it ripples. And that hemisync allows you to get to a spot where the bifurcation echo doesn't happen. You're at like this perfect frequency or beat or pressure or whatever the fuck it is, that it goes down there and doesn't ripple back up. And that's what allows your body to be at so much peace that you're allowed to do these things like the remote viewing, the hypnotizing, the astral projection. And I mean, I don't know, it's kind of cool to think about. It's kind of fascinating to think about. Brad really wanted to get into this remote viewing. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this, right? The energy bar tool we're going to talk about when I talk about like energetic healing with your body, because I've done it and I use this. I use this like even when I do daily workouts and I take some breath work, I use energetic bars for part of my breathing and part of just my body healing during the process. But it says it's used as a portal for initiating and follow-up techniques called remote viewing. In this context, the participant turns his bar of energy into a whirling vortex through which he sends his imagination in search of new and illuminating insights. The apparent purpose of the symbolism involved in the vortex seems to be the cue to the subconscious and to convey the instructions as to what the participant wishes to do, but in terms of nonverbal symbols, which the right hemisphere of the mind is capable of understanding. So like whatever. But what that's saying is when you do the remote viewing, you have like a target that you can't see and you have a helper, and it allows you to send your consciousness to view these targets and to see things. And that's what a lot of people do with the remote viewing. The government's been doing it forever. Supposedly they found bin Laden by that. And oh God, it's someone finally, Steven's age in here. Lord.
Can you guys hear me?
No, Dale, I can't hear you. I'm just responding.
Shit, you can't hear me?
Who?
Kumquats on the astronauts.
Hey, do you have any butterscotch in your pockets? You got any Werther's Originals on you? You got any Rolos?
Hey, speaking of butterscotch, y'all ever listen to Riff Raff?
He follows me on X. Jody High Roller follows me, bro. He's my boy.
I don't know
No.
if y'all ever heard that song, Butterscotch Babe Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
There's a
Sexy.
part in there where he talked about licking a fleshlight, and boys, that's disgusting. That is disgusting right there. I tell you, I respect him as a musician, as a lyrical artist, but licking the fleshlight was a little over the top riff. Come on now, that's a little raffy.
The guy who never has the third line makes sense with the first two. Have you noticed that? He just does couplet stories, and every couplet is a whole new train of thought. I love it. It's groundbreaking.
very random, and as a random person myself, I enjoy it. But
Steven, have you met Dale?
No, not face to
not
face,
formally.
I guess.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is Dale. Dale, this is an old friend of mine, Stevesy. Y'all are now sadly introduced.
well, hello. You may have seen the rando Brad before, and I apologize. I say it all the time. Kid got a good heart, okay, but he a little over the top. This is a little ridiculous. I seen a little bit of the show. He had the aluminum foil, okay. Nope, that don't even do nothing.
Was it needed?
That don't even do nothing. Like, what are we talking about? He ain't got no lead helmet. He ain't Magneto. He ain't trying to amplify any of his own electrons and send out signal. He don't even know lizard blocker. Get out of here.
Xavier
That ain't
fucked him up.
blocking. If anything, that's helping the lizards penetrate into his brain even more. But it's okay. He got a good heart. He just trying to help. Because in reality, what we're talking about with this gateway process, you saying?
The gateway, not the 8-way. It's not cocaine. We're not doing an 8-ball.
I got a little draw, So gateway, 8-way, it is. So it is what it is. So back in my day, okay, we was hearing about this as it was playing out, right? And they was trying to use it to get the Russians. And when they was pinging satellites and trying to get over there and get to Rasputin, whoever, what they found out was over in Alaska, they had a pyramid. Okay. Now this pyramid supposed to be a black pyramid. Now I don't know if all pyramids were black in the first place. I have no idea, folks. I wasn't there when they built them. You
Were
can't
you?
This is a very deep question. We've discussed. We do not ask Dale how old he is unless you want to get into a 15-minute total tangent.
Yeah, let's bypass that. The
Okay.
pyramids
Yeah.
were maybe black. Let's go.
Maybe it was just this one specific one in Mount Hayes, Alaska. So every time the remote viewers was trying to figure out let's just say Vlad Ballistiskov, who cares, some Russian, and they was trying to ping over there, right?
Some bear kisser.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Vlad.
And they couldn't really get over there because they's being attracted and drawn to this high magnetic force field in Alaska, where it ended up being potentially an alien base. Look it up, okay? And if you think about where the HARP facility is, folks, it's in Alaska, okay? And it's right near Mount motherfucking Hayes. And if you're trying to think about like, oh, well, we're going to get all this power to even make these goddamn hurricanes and tornadoes and directed energy beams, it's probably from a motherfucking pyramid, okay? Because we all know that there's some sort of power device. It ain't that complex. Look it up.
We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
But then it gets even crazier, folks, because the moon ain't real. We've talked about this.
We did.
Now, ain't real or it's hollow?
Well, I guess
it's an observation satellite, likely.
It's
Right.
really there, but is it really what we think it is?
It's just air.
Is
There might be
anything
some
what we
light.
really think it is?
Well, apparently there's a satellite on there, big old obelisk tower, that keeps the human beings trapped on Earth forever, and they continue to use us as work slaves. Now you
It's a
can
theory.
believe this, or you could choose not to. But think about it. So once we started tapping into all this gateway processes, like the gateway processor, that was something we had back in my day.
Like
They
Intel.
don't work as good as we have on like I got the HP. It's a little nicer, but the gateway, okay, that was when we first started opening up to the world, and the CIA they shut that down quick as Snickers, And matter of fact, with Snickers, they replaced LSD with Snickers because they were seeing that people were starting to understand what was going on, and they're starting to get grounded. And they were starting to have limitless beliefs. And they said, "Oh no, we can't have that. We need to get these kids back into work. We need to make them dumber than shit. We need to make orange juice high as fuck, so everybody getting sick and dependent on the pharmaceuticals. And then we're just hammering down sugar and fluoride in the water. And of course, every time we're talking about this, they're turning the frogs gay. Okay, and it's a goddamn shame.
Humans are
And
gay, not frogs.
that's right. The frogs are not gay. I apologize. I'm getting emotional.
Swans can be gay though. I've heard that.
What's happening is we got the Roundup, Monsanto going around spraying the fruits and the vegetables. Okay, so like I said, they only want you to have the fruits and the vegetables that have the Monsanto Roundup bug killer on them.
Yep.
Okay, and that is actually turning the frogs biologically so that they are not turning into male frogs. So we're just having female on female frog action, which, as we all know, don't really do anything for frog development. And if you think that that's only harming the frogs, look at the statistics of men. Okay, folks, the men percentage has steadily started to go down. We're starting to get more and more women in this country. Think about it. Look it up. Come on now. They are controlling you. They are turning us all into women. And now, what are they doing with these kids? We ain't gonna touch on them.
Dale, are you anti women on the earth?
Listen. You're trying to catch me in a trap. Okay,
I'm just having conversation.
No. We need to have women.
Oh yeah, Steven, defend your cousin Dale over there.
We don't need less men. We need to have, I don't know if it's 50-50. I don't know if it's 60-40.
It's 55-45.
But we're starting to slip into a direction of both people not being able to have kids, want to have kids, or the people who are having kids are dumb as shit, folks, and we need to fix that. So, listen, again, they're putting fluoride in the water. They're making their kids addicted to sugar. Look at the goddamn, as soon as you have a kid who needs to start getting extra food, what do they put them on? That Pediasure growing game. Check the ingredients. High fructose corn syrup right in that motherfucker, and they're just sucking you right on the government sugar teat, okay?
It's true.
Dale, can I interject with some experience here? Can I throw something out there?
You gonna say sugar good?
No.
Okay,
I just
go ahead.
look. I'm not here to say that I know how to parent children or that I'm like this like super parent. I'm not. I'm fucking not. I'm trying my best. I'm doing weird shit, figuring it out. But I'm gonna say this. My first child, Bella Linda, we did not give her any pouches or any of like the baby food. We gave her formula because that's what we had to do. We have a choice. She would have died, so we did formula. And then we went to our own homemade mashes. So she just ate like stuff we bought at the store or stuff that we grew, and we made it into food. And then when she could hold her head up doing this shit, we started feeding her avocado and rice, doing the baby-led weaning thing, which was scary because they choke a lot of bit. But my child, when she was in pre-K the first year, a healthy treat at Halloween was one of the pouches. And she was like, hey, can I try this? I was like, yeah, try it. Like, I don't care. You want to eat it, eat it. She spit it out and almost threw up. And that moment showed me how different her taste buds evolved, right? Like, it's just one kid, right? So maybe it's just my kid. Maybe it's not what we did. I'm not saying it's what we did as a parent, but maybe it is what we did, and her taste buds evolved different, and everything else evolved different because the diet never went to the processed foods. And to this day, if you ask my child, what do you want? What's your favorite meal? It's typically chicken and rice. It's avocado. It's arepas, but she calls them yepas, which is like chicken, avocado, a little mayonnaise, and some seasoning, and like the corn arepas, and we make a little sandwich. Like, she eats all of that stuff. That's what she asked for. You know, she eats a Happy Meal, dude. Like, we're not those crazy, my child can't have a Happy Meal or candy, you know? Like, I'm not doing that. But that's not the thing she jumps to all the time. And I think starting it with that real food had a lot to do with it. Sorry, Dale. I know this is your thing, and I'm sorry, but I wanted to share that.
No,
that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I got a lot of energy. Don't mean y'all can't put in any input. I know I just start rambling sometimes, and I get full of emotion. Y'all cut me down, you know. Tell me to slow down. Hey, look, I gotta share something too.
You're good, Dale, though. But Cosmic is onto something there, because different types of food, especially sugars and salts, have been shown to excite different parts of the brain. And we are creatures of addiction. So we get addicted to those neurons firing off, popping off in the brain. If as a kid, we're not influenced by that or subject to those things, then, we're not going to find those neurons firing off as satisfying. And I think, like you were saying, Dale, that definitely, it all ties back. All this whole conversation ties back to that black pyramid you were talking about.
Ironically, I think it does because right as soon as we were finding out that information and we were tapping into the idea that people could research on their own through remote viewership, that this Earth may not be just this Earth. Okay, we might have
Mm,
other planets with maybe highly civilized beings.
sure.
Now we have the UAP UFO phenomena report coming out in the next couple days, and this could open up some eyes to the public. But I'd like to say, while we're touching on the UAP report that's coming out now, who's telling you this information, folks? Is
The
it,
government.
you got
Mm-hmm.
it's the government? So you have to take the information with a grain of salt, because it could all just be a massive psyop, okay, to get you to believe what's happening over here, so you're not looking over here, you know. And
Absolutely.
what's happening over here could actually be involved with aliens too, but it may be much more complex. They may understand a little bit more about it than what they're trying to tell you, and what they may be releasing is just something to keep you pacified, as I like to say, or like the military always likes to do, we like to throw flack out, folks. If we think that you're onto our
Affleck.
tail, well, not like
Affleck.
act like the duck, flack, FLAK.
Black.
Like we
Okay.
just throw out a
Okay.
little flack and just try to deter you for a second and just go, oh, okay, we'll make go over here for a second, chase down this bunny rabbit, and surprise, it's nothing.
Now, Steve Z, I'm pointing over here to Cosmic from you all's perspective, but watching the live, I'm pointing at Steve Z. So it seemed like maybe you were leaning forward. You had something that you wanted to say when we were ranting about the sugar and the food.
Oh yeah, I mean, like if you drink a Coke or something after you haven't had one forever, it's like this is the nectar of the gods. This is the most glorious drink that has ever graced my lips. It is ridiculous, right? But like if you drink one, two or three a day, it's just like, man, I need some Coke.
That's a lot of lube.
I need a Coca Cola. Like it's like it's engineered to like keep you from wanting stuff, and if you get away from that, you see how crazy it is. And like a lot of like food, the food that we get is has a lot of other stuff in it. It's barely food, some of it, and like that that's why I've just recently kind of shifted to this, like just looking at the ingredients. If it's got 1,000 ingredients, it's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Like like if I want to look at a thing and say a thing of beans, ingredients, beans. Yep, you know they
I
might
bought
not be
beans.
as like as taste as good immediately, but I know it's going to be better for me that day, the next day, and so on. Like you kind of gotta you gotta think about that stuff, which like it's easy not to because they're selling this shit.
And I'd like to pick up on that one there because we
Of
always
that.
say in the world right now, we say mental health matters, okay, and everybody likes to say that, and that feels nice. I appreciate that because it does, okay. Mental health does matter, but if you're just saying an empty ass statement and just saying mental health matters, go get your ass into a psychiatrist who's gonna put you on some fucking drugs and make you mentally numb. That ain't really saying mental health matters. That's just saying you're crazy and I don't want to deal with you. Okay? Because listen, what Steve Z was talking about, input equals output, you dumbass. Okay? Listen up, kids. Okay? Because if you're not inputting healthy ingredients and you're just going and getting hot pockets from Nestle, who are the main culprits of putting fluoride in the food or in the water, look at a hot pocket, okay? Ain't nothing in there. They got literal tree bark on some of that shit for just feeling, okay? And do you want that? Maybe you are a vegetarian who like tree bark. investigator down here. He used to be a vegetarian for a while. He used to eat trees. That's him. That
It's
ain't
the
us.
vegan.
I talk to
Everybody
trees.
Hey.
some of that stuff does have additional chemicals, hormones in there, and they're trying to slowly twist you over time. Get that pineal gland to basically shut the fuck down because they
Sure.
want to have total control over you and oppress you, just like they've been trying to do for
Mm.
generations. Okay.
Why does that matter, Dale? What's the pineal gland? Why does that matter? What the fuck is that?
Mm.
Well, if they didn't shut it down, okay, because you got to have that pineal gland so that you're always
What does
cognizant
it do?
aware of what's happening around you and not just reacting on emotional fucking responses like the lizard person would.
It's
Sorry
like
about that.
right there, isn't it?
So no,
Am I pointing to it?
it's literally dead in the center. You're pointing
Right.
to the front of the brain, to the frontal
It's third
lobes.
eye blind.
Mm.
So look, modern science is going to tell you, and this is true. This is true. This is not me. Oh, modern science is going to lie. No, they're like, this is true. The pineal gland regulates your melatonin for you to go to sleep. That's a really important aspect of what it does. But I mean, as you dig into history, as you dig into text, as you look at fucking drawings on walls and rocks, the old shit where they shouldn't have known this stuff. If you look at the Catholic Church, the symbolism of the pine cone and the little staff that they have, and the head and all that, right? The pineal gland is really where a lot of the chemicals and substance for your imagination, for your creative thought, come through.
Absolutely.
And
It goes
in
crazy
sacred
when you dream.
initiations, in sacred initiations, it's basically what would allow you to do any of the things that we're talking about. To astral project, to remote view, to have these meditational experiences, to lucid dream. With a calcified pineal gland, you're not going to be able to do those things.
You
can.
I want to say just real quickly, it goes even further than that because if you're so far entrenched in the addiction phase where like Stevie Z was saying earlier, where you've had a couple cokes in a day and not cocaine. Well, hell, cocaine do the same thing too, folks. Let's be honest.
I miss some
So
cocaine.
but, you're fully reaching for multiples a day at this point, and that's what you reach for. You wake up, you have caffeine, start the day. You're full of sugar. You're full of bullshit. Okay, and how can you even think for one possible second that anything that you're even trying to accomplish is your own thought process and not any some sort of emotional bullshit or influenced by some other person or media outlet that's trying to tell you what to do? And if you think I'm wrong, listen, it can be influenced by your wife being a bitch. It can be influenced by your husband being an asshole. It can be influenced by the kids out there just being annoying. It can totally change and divert your whole thought process from who you think that you should be because now you're over here thinking emotionally because you're addicted trying to reach out for just some sugar or cocaine. It don't really matter. You need to be focused here, folks. You need to be grounded and take some time. Just like I'm gonna do right here. Take a nice couple deep breaths in through the nose breathe. Don't be mouth breathers now. You don't want to just be get that
The
snake
mouth
breath.
is for eating. The nose is for breathing.
That's right.
All right. I wanna touch on this because I still got some open boxes. I'm big on my boxes, but this ties into what Dale was saying a lot. I tried to zoom in, but these are some quotes from page 26 talking
You guys
about
have been
belief
able to hear me,
systems.
right?
Excuse me?
You guys have been able to hear me?
I hear you great, Dale. I hear you
Okay.
better than
I'm so
Steve
sorry.
Z. I mean, did I cut you off in the middle of something? I thought you had stopped. I'm sorry.
No, I was just making
I'm
sure
not
I
sorry.
wasn't saying, 30 minutes of shit earlier.
Like
yeah.
I'm just saying I'm sorry to be cordial, but it is what it is. But I wanted to touch on these. Secret teachings in Tibetan Buddhist sects from which the following quote is taken. The tangible world is movement, say the masters, not a collection of moving objects, but movement itself. There are no objects in movement. It is the movement which constitutes the objects which appear to us. They are nothing but movement. That one's a little tricky. This movement is continued and infinitely rapid succession of flashes of energy. In Tibetan, the Sal or the Shug, all objects perceptible to our senses, all phenomena of whatever kind and whatever aspect they may assume, are constituted by rapid succession in instantaneous events. This is really getting into like vibration, movement, and energy. But the one I really wanted to get to, I wanted that one there because that's thought provocative. That's very provocative in a sexual, intellectual way. But the one I like is this one. It's found in a Hindu sutra. Somebody can tell me what that is. In the heaven of Indra, there is said to be a network of pearls so arranged that if you look at one, you see all the others reflected in it. If you look at one, you see all the others reflected in it. If that's not talking about what we talked about most of this night, I don't know what is. Right? The information of the whole is in the information of the part. I wanted to hit that, right? Because that's not coming from the same place. That's a different place, a much older place. They knew something. They knew it before we did. We're just discovering it again.
Hindu Sutra, a short aphoristic composition that is a compilation of rules and teachings on a variety of subjects, including philosophy, ritual, grammar, and more.
Well, that one a little new to me.
Yeah, Dale probably don't read the Indra Sutra Nutra.
No,
Probably not.
I had a lady friend.
Maybe there when it was written.
20, 30 years ago now. Okay.
It's been a while.
She would talk about aligning her chakras, and she was into the hippies. This was like 30, 40 years ago now. And it's coming right out of that phase. And I tell you what, once you got past just the overall mindset, it was nice, free flowing, good times. It really was. When her chakras were aligned, boy, let me tell you, my chakras were getting aligned too.
Did she Kama Sutra you there, Dale?
Got Kama Sutra'd, and we went into what's known as the Amazon position, and that's stretching the hamstring down now. If you ain't ever done it, you have to have your hips right.
Look,
make
bro.
sure you're
Three
stretching
y'all
out
about to
there.
look like a bunch of smiling dickheads with the news I got.
I used to have this Spencer's poster on my wall, 101 positions of the day. And this was a younger Cosmic who was in shape, doing some boxing at the gym, playing basketball every day.
And all that.
Well, we did this one wasn't Lego My Ego, which we did that. This was bombs bursting in air.
Ooh.
And she was a soccer player. So we're talking about a very fit, strong lady. But it's like she lays on the bed and wraps her legs and puts her arms up, and you grab her arms and you stand up, and we could like walk around the room. I think it was Kama Sutra-esque. It was something different, dude. It was different.
Now, for the younger viewers and the older ones like Dale here, Spencer's was a store that you could go to that had all kinds of different stickers, and clothing, and posters that were a little off the wall and unusual and trendy at the time. So look it up. Classic stuff. I don't know. Is Spencer's still a thing? Like,
I don't know.
they still exist.
You just
that was the funniest
shit of the night.
Is Hot Topic still a thing? I was going to ask about that. Is it?
I don't know.
Flipping mall.
I haven't been to the mall forever.
If the mall had a baseball cart, I might go back, but it doesn't. So I haven't been there.
What happened to good old America, where the peoples was all just gathering with peoples, and we were all making dumb financial decisions
together? But we did it united, right?
And right. We had 24-hour Walmarts where there was kids out there. I seen them. Okay, I wanted to get on them and whip them with the belt, because they was playing laser tag, and I could tell that they were smoking marijuana, 2 a.m. And they didn't have no parental custody, nothing. They're just playing laser tag in the middle of Walmart, 2 a.m. talking about 3-4 of them.
I was one of those kids.
And those were the best days of my life. And what I mean by that is,
Hello, remember Spencer's.
Kids, I couldn't believe they were doing that. It was ridiculous. We had 24-hour Walmarts. It was the best, beautiful time in America. And
that was great, man.
Walmarts.
You could go out and get Taco Bell or McDonald's. Sometimes there was McDonald's 24/7. Taco Bell cut down at 2 or 3. But it all went to hell,
Damn,
you go to a Waffle House, get a little drunk, go to Waffle House, head over to Walmart. That was a night.
We were lit. We were lit at Waffle House.
At 5 in the morning, boys.
That was the place, man.
Back when I could smoke like Dale, we went to Waffle House like that. And I was like, I want the all-star breakfast with hash browns, bacon, a waffle, and chocolate milk. And my partner was sitting next to me. He goes, I want the same thing, but the milk without the chocolate. It's like, bruh, you want another world right now, dude. I want that chocolate milk without the chocolate, bruh.
Those were the days.
Still want it to be brown.
Oh,
And
man.
I don't want it to taste like chocolate. Okay.
All right. We're gonna run a little late tonight, which I think we're all cool with. But I did say I was gonna get into some experiences. Are you okay with that, Dale? Is this a good time to share some of that?
Well, I think we'll go ahead and do the quick thing.
Let's do it.
Well, I mean, investigator, you can just drop me down for a couple of seconds, and I'll get out of here, and I'll come right back in, and we'll figure it all out.
Okay.
Oh, it was good talking to you, Dale, as always.
Well,
I do.
stay woke out there, kids.
Steven's cousin. I love you, Dale.
Have a good night.
Oh my, Steven, did you feel that connection between you and Dale? Because I see it.
So hard.
So I thought you were gonna rip on me all night. I've been ripping on you. It's how it happened. But look, I did want to share three, but two main types of experiences I've had. Because like I said, I got nothing to gain from this. It's not like there's 70,000 people going to tune in because Cosmic's talking about weird shit. I can just look like a fucking idiot that no one believes. So I'm sharing this from this was my experience. Roll your eyes, bro. It's cool. I like it. You look good when you roll your eyes.
I don't know what you're getting at with like that intro.
Yeah, that's good.
Just stop with that shit. You can say whatever you want.
Well, no, but I want the people to know. I want them to know where it's coming from. I want to know where it's coming from. This is coming from like my life. This is real. So like the energy healing that they talk about in this document. You do the energy bar and you think about the parts of the body. You think about how it would heal. You move the energy to that part of the body and you actually facilitate healing, right? And that sounds kind of fucking crazy, right? So I partially tore my right ACL years ago. I had to take time off of work. I didn't have enough work time to do surgery, so I chose physical therapy. When I had to come back to work, it was not all the way healed, right? Like it was still sore, and my patella tendon took a pretty big hit the first day back going downstairs. So that leads me to this. On a Friday night at work, because I was working night shift, I found this. It was called a quantum meditation, which sucked me in. But basically, this meditation led you into that relaxing state. You leave your body, you envision yourself leaving your body, and you picture a new body. And I envisioned a body with a healthy knee. That's all I focused on, a healthy leg. Okay. And I'm still hurting. I'm limping. I'm feeling it when I'm walking. I do this meditation. I come home. I take my little sleep. I wake up. Before I go to work, I do this meditation again. Just focused on healing my knee. I get to work that day. We have a cooling tower that runs low. If that cooling tower runs low, these pumps cavitate and like everything goes to shit. Things overheat. This is at a unit high H2S. We can have releases. We could have government interference, all kind of stuff, right? So I hear it's low. I go out there. I see it's really fucking low. I have to run a fire water hose, which is basically like a big fire hydrant that shoots like a gun. I got to connect the hose to it, turn it on. I don't have time. Like this level was close to this stuff happening. I ran and jumped over a pipe band. Okay. And we're talking like a 6-7 foot jump that 24-year-old Cosmic could have done. 30-year-old Cosmic couldn't have. I go get my hose. I jump again. I put it in there. I run back. I jump again. I crank this thing on and get this level coming up. What I'm getting at is my knee didn't hurt at all. I was able to perform these things and my knee never, ever in my life hurt again. I had a chipped coccyx. Did the same thing. I started 2 years into the injury. It wouldn't heal. Started envisioning what it looked like. Started focusing on it healing. Started meditating about it healing. And I'm at a day now where I don't feel the pain. I felt daily pain. It affected my entire daily life. I would like be squatting down to move my hips to get my butt to crack to get the pressure off because it was a debilitating daily pain. These types of things worked in my life. Maybe it was just me believing in it, crushed a limiting belief that allowed my body to heal it. Maybe it was the process. It really doesn't matter because the effects were there. The other thing I wanted to share was about astral projection, right? Because that sounds super fucking woohoo, right? Like my energetic body is just going to leave this physical body and I'm going to go explore. So I'm reading this document for a couple years. And the first almost moment I had was a Saturday morning nap at work, right? Like we're not supposed to do that. But it happened. No one knows where I work. I'm not affiliated. So like, fuck it. I'll talk about it. So I'm taking this nap, but I'm trying to meditate, because I would do a lot of breathing and meditation, which would lead to a nap. So I get to this space and all of a sudden, dude, I feel like I hit that space in lucid dreaming where I talk about hold the space. You know what I'm saying? Where my mind gets a little weird. But the difference is when you lucid dream, you're kind of cloudy. Your consciousness is not like it is right now. You're cloudy. If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. This was not cloudy. This was like me right here, right now. So I hit this space and I hear like a cafeteria noise talking and it gets super fucking loud, like almost hurt my ears loud, even though there's no audible noise, right? I'm in a quiet place. I stay calm.
Say cafeteria noise. Sorry, like you mean like a cafeteria with a bunch of people talking? Or like...
Yes. Yes, like random conversations going on. This is the first time it happened, and that's what it was like. I stay calm and hold that space, and the next thing that happens is my body, every square millimeter of my body is tingling, as if like your arm falls asleep, that tingling, except it's everywhere on my body. And at that moment, I knew what was happening because I've done so much research. I'm like, this is what leads into the vibrations that separate your body from your energetic body. Thoth talked about it in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth we talked about last week. So I stay calm and I'm like, I want to do this, but I'm also like, I'm at work. I don't know how like time works with this stuff. And if something happens, like I'm fucked, right? Like I can't get back to my body. And like, I felt this weird, like I tried to sit up and I felt this weird, like I was sitting up, but my body didn't move, but nothing else happened. So I call my friends who are like into this. They're one's a big researcher, one's a Freemason. I talked to them about it. I have this experience probably 7 more times. Finally, I go through it in my bed at night. Now, every time I had it, those voices got more clear. It wasn't no longer 30 conversations. It became like a person talking to me. And then it became a person talking to me and I could hear the words they're saying. And I try to focus to listen. Well, this time the vibrations hit. I stay in this state for a while. And I try the roller coaster. I try the rollout. None of it works. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to stand up. Like whatever happens, happens. I'm going to stand the fuck up. I wake up my wife, too bad. And I decide to lift up my head to stand up. And I feel my head go up and I feel my body rotate. I feel my feet get on the floor and I'm standing up. And I'm like, all right, let me open my eyes. Okay, let's see what's happening. Because my consciousness is just as clear as it is, more clear right now because I'm drinking. I wasn't drinking then, I open my eyes and I see the wall of my bedroom and the 2 windows, except it's bright. It's like bright. And the vision was like if you've ever taken LSD or mushrooms. When you hallucinate, it's not that you're seeing all these things that aren't there. That happens sometimes, but for the most part, it just looks like everything is vibrant and kind of moving a little bit, right?
Sure.
Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's what my vision was. It was very clear, very like 8K HD. I was standing up, and when I saw my room like that, I was like, oh, it didn't work. I'm just standing up. Bam, I'm laying back down. I open my eyes again. It's pitch black dark, and I go, holy shit.
Oh, wow.
Like that actually happened, right? Like, so I asked for confirmation. I didn't get to explore, right? Because I really want to astral project and explore and see what it's like. But I got enough to know that shit was real. There's no question in my mind. Someone can hear the story and say, Cosmic, you're full of shit. Cool, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But I know for me, there's no doubt in my mind what that was. Because my consciousness was the same as it is when I'm awake. The vision was different. My perspective was different. And then, bam, I'm laying back down. I open my eyes, and it's pitch black dark. And I'm like, holy shit. I want to share that because I want people to know, for me, real life effects, quality of life effects. But for you, ask for confirmation and experiment with these things. I'm not saying everything's going to happen. I'm not saying blah, 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 but experiment with it and see what it does for you. See what answers it gives you. See how it changes your life. It shifted my life completely.
Did you even fall asleep that night?
Oh, yeah. I'm a great sleeper. I went back to sleep trying to astral project again, obviously, and it didn't happen again because you're right on that borderline to fall asleep space.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. That reminds me of a lot of different stuff I've read in most of the Carlos Castaneda series of books about how he evolves through his teacher, Don Juan, is introducing him to mushrooms and peyote, ayahuasca, and these different things to get him to that breaking point where he no longer needs those drugs to access that space that you're talking about. And he used the word hold the space. I find it interesting because that's the exact same phrasing. And these are like, this is southern Mexico, to be properly, southern Mexico, Indian, ancient native teachings. And they teach to hold that space.
Wow.
And so you've been saying that all night. I think it's pretty cool. I think you'd love some of these books. They're pretty wild and out there. And he tells it in a narrative so he can get the point across, because he wrote this, I think he wrote this shit back in the 70s. But he's talking about, his teacher gave him these drugs. He got him to that place, and then he taught him how to find that place. And eventually he flies off and astral projects and duels evil witches and shit, and turns into crows and things like that, and flies around the world and sees stuff. And I think it's pretty interesting that what you're talking about, your experience, almost exactly how he described it in these books that he wrote 50 or 60 years ago. Same concept.
It's how Thoth described them. And like what's fascinating to me is there's these like consistencies in ancient text that there's no way they had these conversations, but they had to the detail, right? These visuals or these instructions. And I think that that's part of that clicking out, right? Because you have access to all the information. So your verbiage is going to be somewhat similar. Your experience is going to be similar because you're bringing it back with you. It's fascinating, man. DM me some of them titles, dude. I'd love to check them out.
Yeah, I'll hit you up with it for sure. I think you'd like that kind of stuff. Really interesting read.
I wanted to say too, and then I'll shut up for a little bit because I've been talking a lot, and I'll shut up. But I want to say the last thing: ritual symbols, sigils. I put videos out a long time ago. Those things were always used to break the limiting belief. They were used because you believed in that process so much, that image so much, that charged object so much, that your belief system could fall out, your limiting belief could fall out, and this was able to happen. But the reality of this is it's your energy interacting with the energy around you. It's that mind attuning to the mind of the universe that allows the things to happen. It's not the symbols. It's not the ritual. It's not the sigil. They're there to get the mind to tune in properly. And knowledge like that, just having it and believing in that 10%, I'm not even saying fully buying it, but having an idea that, hey, this is a thought, this might be real. That's life-shattering, changing types of things if you want to buy into it, if you want that experience. But it's up to you. But I really wanted people to know that. And I say that from not just my 7 years of living in a book and reading ancient texts, but like my own experiences. Right. Now shut up. Shows for you.
Well, I like where you were heading, and let's say for somebody that they're still on the fence. This is all a little bunch of hooey. It's bullshit. Um, what I would still even recommend is even just I've been a major advocate of this for a while because it's changed how I view other people's perspective. It's okay to challenge your own belief systems and just research a little bit more about where you come from, what you believe in, and just find a bit of more understanding about it. And even if you're not gonna, maybe you're not ready to challenge your own belief systems yet. Maybe you want to challenge
What's up,
somebody
Smoking
else's.
Jay?
At least start challenging somebody else's belief system by doing the proper background research so that you can maybe gain perspective on why they have that perspective in the first place. And now we can start to navigate a little bit better and have some more profound conversations and communication, if you will.
I think the most important thing you'll do in your life is challenge your belief system.
Absolutely.
Steadily. Mine is steadily evolving. What I believe right now might not be what I believe in a year, and I think that's important.
I say that from a place of childhood trauma, and I really hate to get into it too much. I've tapped into it a few times. My childhood was not the best experience, and I'm not saying it was the worst. Fuck no, it wasn't. But I've had to acknowledge that where I came from, it doesn't have to be who I am. It doesn't have to totally shape me. I can accept it. I can own it, and I can look back on where I was and use that continually as fuel for where I want to go. And I don't have to look at that as a total negative. a lot of times I look at the past and I just say, look, this is clearly what I don't want. I know that now, and fortunately, I was able to experience that at a small level where I was able to get through it, and very much so remember that that's not anything that I want in this life, and I continue to work towards something that I do think that I want, which I still don't know exactly what I want, but I can tell you I definitively know where I don't want to go, and I will work very continually hard to get in a direction that puts me in a position where I'm never going back to where I don't want to
I
be. But
love that,
I
man.
do that because, or I got in that place because I challenged my belief systems. My belief systems initially told me this is where I was going to be forever. I was going to be a piece of shit. I was going to be in the trailer park. I wasn't going to amount to anything, and if I was lucky, I wasn't going to be a drug addict. It You have the power to, I don't want to say totally do anything because that's a little frivolous, but with the right mindset, you can literally change the course of your destiny starting today. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to get a Lamborghini or a Ferrari in the driveway tomorrow. That's not where we're at. Let's work towards that goal. Maybe we'll paint a picture of what we want in the universe. We'll plant what it wants. But let's at least focus on where you don't want to go so you can navigate towards a better, brighter tomorrow starting today. And I'll shut up. Boy, I'd be
I love
rambling.
that, man. I like to think, excuse me, I like to think of the past, especially the negative experiences. They're just tools. Past is tools I put in my tool belt, and they help me be prepared for what's to come, and they help me build what I want my life to be. It's just tools. It's not a burden. It can be part of you. It can still be there in your mind. It can still be a piece of you, but it doesn't have to be a burden. It can be a tool that you can use to better yourself and the world around you, for better people around you. But I mean, I look at some of the stuff that I went through, and I have been actively dealing with that the last year or so. Some of the stuff that I was raised with, especially when it pertains to, say, like alcohol, something I've been working on. And when I look back at those experiences, I realize that there's certain things that I can take from it that I can use to help others around me. It's made me very empathetic. I can read a person. I can be there, and I can listen without interjecting, and I can actually truly hear them from a certain point where I'm not just thinking about myself and, oh, when do I get to stop listening to this person who's telling me about their shit? And then I can just
minutes.
and then I can just shed the rest of that part, though. I don't have to be that person who is also scared to be myself or who needs to please people around me all the time, just so that the person that was always bothering me, that I had to learn to pay attention to, and that's why I became so observant of people, I don't have to tiptoe around people anymore, and I can separate those two things. I can take that negative experience from the past, and I can figure out how to separate the good from it and use that moving forward, and then just discard the rest.
Yes. So all of that. Just all of it.
What Brad said too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
love it.
Say a bunch of shit. Like I'm in. I think all of that was very spot on.
Well,
I will say to the empath,
we're in Wisconsin, and like I had this 15 minutes. If you don't give them the old slap on the
the slap on the knee.
What is this?
You got it.
That's a Yankee thing.
You got it. Well, all right.
Good.
It's time to go.
Slapping. Well, I think I better be. I got.
Is this from the You Betcha guy?
You betcha. That's when you're saying goodbye for an hour after you already said goodbye, because you had a conversation about how it's probably time to call it a night and you should both say goodbye.
The broom.
And that draws.
It's getting dark around 4:30, man.
Tell you what.
Here come out. It's about time for me to get out of here.
Tell you what, I got early morning tomorrow. Tell you what.
All right. Big long day.
Man, you
get up early.
Y'all got some things, bro. Y'all similar, but yeah, it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different.
I tell you, man.
We don't say I love you. We say
Oh, Steven
watch out.
died.
Oh,
Laptop looks
That
closed.
laptop must have unplugged, bro. He said he only had like 10 seconds if it unplugged.
Oh,
yeah, he's not in here anymore. Oh well,
Yeah, he's
Steven,
gone.
it
Rest in
was a
peace.
pleasure, Steven.
I'm gonna get that boy a mic so he can talk more because
Get
he
him
got a
back
lot
in
to
here.
say.
He had some good stuff to say, man. I wanted to hear more of it.
He's a good dude, man. He's been around for over 15 years. Yeah, probably like 15 years of my life. Very close. So our kids play a lot. It's really cool. We were doing the party stuff back in the day, but y'all already slapped the knees, so y'all don't want to hear all that.
We got at TD Pose in here says Rando's the man. What's up, everybody? Got the
The chat.
Mockingjay.
The
What's
chat
up,
is so
Mockingjay?
behind.
I'm over here struggling.
I gotta leave the
Interesting.
chat and come
Just
back
that's
in.
we haven't had much showing up in the old YouTubes. Anybody wants to hop over to YouTube and watch us there as well? We're trying to build up our numbers. Go to subscribe to us on
Also, we're not
YouTube.
just trying to fill up our numbers. You got to
Rando is the man. Pose. TD Pose.
chat.
Posse.
If you want your chats to be brought up, we can highlight your chats, but only on YouTube because our bullshit media studio only allows YouTube chats. And if you think that's garbage, you need to at Riverside FM and say, hey, look, I want to have my chats come up on the higher values fucking show. And
Because it's that big a deal.
you know, and let them know, hey, they're not talking to just 3 people. We're talking to 6 people. Okay. And that would greatly help me out a lot.
Get
I
your
think
shit together, Riverside.
Ella said she subbed to the YouTube channel, so that's good. That's cool.
Yes.
Greatly appreciate that. We're getting pretty
Thank you.
close.
Smoking Jay says wrong Mockingbird. I know what he's getting at. He's talking about that dragonfly shit that Brad was talking about weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Bzzz, cameras, CIA. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was like, oh yeah.
We did it. We saw the falcon, the hawk, the Chinese hawk.
Yep. Sir.
All right.
See,
Anybody got anything else?
yeah, because that's a good point. The CIA did this gateway experiment process with remote viewers, and clearly, what we're figuring out with these insects is maybe this might not have been the most reliable source of intel. Maybe they were able to get some things out of it. Maybe they learned more than what they should have. But clearly, if they're creating these insects and they had these bird spies, maybe the remote viewers weren't
Hey,
so remotely so good.
we got Stevesy in the lobby. We want to bring him back in.
You can. I mean, for the 2 seconds. There he is. I thought that laptop unplugged on you, dude.
It did, absolutely. I
Oh,
got up to be dramatic, and I just kicked that thing right out of there.
And your audio's fixed. Now we can hear you.
Is it? Oh
Yes.
man,
You
Now
sound
we can
great.
hear you.
I wish I would have known. I'd unplugged it earlier. Shit.
Right. Right.
Oh well. Do you have it running on another computer right now? You got a Riverside up? It's mad at us when it's open on 2 different computers.
No. I had another tab open trying to load back up when it just came back up. So
Oh, maybe that
I
was it.
closed that. So maybe that's it.
Well, you were gone for a second. We were just bitching about this stupid app that doesn't let us share texts and chats and pain in the ass sometimes in other forms and fashions. So
We're gonna get there though.
Good to
Because
have you
we're gonna get Stevesy. I want Stevesy and I want Trace in this thing sometimes, when we can. Shaman Patrick, that show needs to happen before the season ends. Just saying that. He said him and Merrick will stay out.
I like some of his stuff, man. Like he's solid.
Concrete Shaman, great follow.
I
Nomo
would like to
333,
hear
something like
the meet and greet between your wife and him, like that.
Yes.
That introduction, like I feel like that would be interesting. So.
Silvana wants to work with him, and I'm all for it. I need to talk to him. I got some specifics we got to discuss that I'm not disclosing to social media yet. Steven knows, but that's it. But we need to talk to him, see if that's doable at this moment in life. And if it is, that is something that would be really interesting to put out here. Because she saw a little bit of him, and I talked about him, and she was like, "Bam, I need to talk to him." That's kind of that intuitive thing, I see you shaking, Brad. I see you squirming.
It is what it I was just trying to cover up because I was talking over here. We're what 5 joints in now.
18 minutes over, 5 joints in. Investigator's mic just went out, so it got quiet. I don't even know. Can we even end the show now? Do we have to stay here and show purgatory forever until he comes back?
We might be fucked now.
Are we still live? Dude, these are the kind of things we are. I fucking like it, dude. That's hot. That's hot. I did a Joe Simon quote in the chat.
It still says it, but our
It
people
is.
still here.
It is.
Anyway, we how do we wrap this?
So anyway,
Start wrapping this.
I'm
up.
back.
We maybe got
That's
what,
a lot of
30,
lube.
40 minutes left. We had almost 2.5 hours without technical difficulties.
Well, the first 20 minutes really wasn't real, was it?
No.
No, it wasn't. It
Got my
happened.
invisible face up here. Let me bring myself back.
Shitty.
Hey,
real.
magic.
Is it really real?
Magic.
You know, as a kid,
Dale and Steven are freaking out.
when like up until I was like 24, 25, and maybe this is why my wife is still mad at me a lot. You know, she used to be like, "Oh, you did this, you did that, you did this." I'm like, "Well, do you have a picture of it?"
Up here she does.
Yes.
It's very vivid.
To validate
Yes.
it, then it never happened. You're talking about what you think happened. I'm telling you what I think happened, and clearly it's not lining up. So unless you have some picture proof, I appreciate your perspective, but I cannot honor this as a legitimate complaint. Now, you do that as you will. Right? She's still mad at me for a lot of things now. But listen, she ain't got no picture.
I didn't get an internet camera phone until I was 28. So there's a lot of stuff that's just like maybe.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe
Don't make a
this
fake.
happened,
You
maybe
know
that
this,
happened.
Steven. I
don't-
evicted my ex and I got a smartphone to get Tinder, and then I met my wife like 6 weeks later. That's life.
Did she swipe right on you first, or
Yes, because when I swiped right, it was a match.
ooh,
So there's that.
auto with you?
Nice.
I like that.
There is that. 8 years
What,
later.
what was your profile pic like
Bro, I
with
don't
that?
know.
Was it like
Oh.
a Cosmic Adonis thing? Or?
No, it was my picture of me and Saul Williams together. So like you didn't know, like her family in
Did she
Colombia,
know which one you were? Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Like,
they were like, is it the skinny black guy or the bald white guy? Like,
And she's like, yes.
yes, right, it's
Yes.
one of them. Fuck
That's
you for
funny.
asking. Yeah. Somehow it worked. Look, like the Tinder thing didn't go well for me because I'm not good at like the fake conversations. But for her, I was like, I'm gonna play this game like a fucking player. And when we matched, I DM'd her and I said, hey, what's up? Did you fall into a pile of sugar? Because you got a sweet ass.
Smoking Jay says cosmic swipe right Adonis.
Bruh.
Like,
I used that line and it worked. She has a really nice butt. She's proud of it. So like it was the right person, the right time.
that was a divine moment. I have to agree. I don't understand the online dating, the online. I don't know.
I don't either.
I mean, obviously, I've been married for a long time, but it feels like from a lot of the conversations I see, maybe those either just the hilarious memes that are posted of the wild and crazy Tinder profiles. It typically seems like everybody now is just seeking validation and not seeking a relationship.
Absolutely.
And now
External
maybe this is
validation.
my perspective of what I'm seeing.
Some validation here.
It's
Smoking
like,
Jay says there are only a few perfect heads in the world, the rest God covered with hair.
yeah,
I've said it before. God wouldn't let me have a 6-pack because it wouldn't be fair to you guys. That's why I look the way I do, because I have so much awesomeness tied into me. If I had hair in a 6-pack, dude, I'd probably have 7 wives, and I wouldn't want them. I don't want to deal with that. But there
That's a
would
lot.
be like 200 lined up, and all the other guys on earth would be like, man, fuck this dude. It's fair. I get it. I ain't mad at it. He gets it. I'm going to put that in the chat. I'm going to be an old man and say what I'm typing in the chat right now.
And that's what I think I love. I don't know if we're gonna do more of these third hours, but I think we can just derail here. But if we can just somehow get a summary, what the hell
Well,
happened?
Brad, let's just put this in public. Are you trying to do a third hour, or are you trying to wrap up and get the out of here?
Well, I've always said, space time is my time. And now, have I always said that, or did I just make that up on the spot?
No, I've heard you say it 20 times. I've quote texted it, tweeted it.
I'm always okay. I don't know if this show is every show deserves a third hour, but I think some shows deserve a third hour. And
this one's special.
It's different.
I don't know if any
It's different.
there has real rules. Last time I checked, it's different. We can do whatever the hell we want.
Steven,
we roll it.
Steven, how bad did I sing on that live stream that you claim you watched the whole thing and I feel sorry for you about?
I did watch the whole thing. Don't say I claimed, because I watched the whole thing. All right.
He's
What's
recording.
your honest thoughts?
It was not great. I'll tell you that right now. It was not great.
Like the quality, or me in general?
Okay, well, both.
That's fair.
But like, some of your song choices were spot on. Some were not. Some were not. Were not things that you could handle. But that actually made it kind of more interesting, I guess. I'm okay with you. I want to hear you singing "Genie in a Bottle" for unexplainable reasons. You know what I mean? Like, it's
"Baby One More
like,
Time" is one of my best covers.
Like, it's not funny, but it's like it's interesting, I guess. I don't know.
See, this is the Steve Z we needed all night.
I just want to get him talking. This was my birthday music live stream, which, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. By like the third song, there was 30 people in there, and that number just went up. It was like 70 when I decided to quit at an hour and 15. I was like, who the hell
I saw
is staying in here? I figured it would go up and down.
When I watched it.
185 today.
What?
And I was like, during the live of me singing, I'm like, I'm not a great singer. I love to perform. And I got some songs that I do well. Like Huckleberry, some country stuff I can do pretty well. And my audio had some issues.
Your Johnny Cash is killer. Like your Johnny Cash covers of like other people.
Yes.
Like you didn't do that like
Britney
with like
Spears.
the hero thing.
Enrique Iglesias.
Spears, like yeah. Like some of those I've really enjoyed. They've been on point. No
people didn't leave it, Steven. And if people did, enough people came in and stayed that the number went up the entire time. And this blows my mind. I'm like, because people on Twitter are like, oh, you sing good. I'm like, who the hell are you? Like, you don't have to lie to me. I'll still love you.
No, they weren't like, I feel like if you put that on YouTube, like you'd get just like blasted, just pow, 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 pow. But like at the same time, like who's doing that?
On Twitter specifically, yeah. Not a lot of people.
Specifically, like who's putting stuff out there as a beginner? Not like you were bad, because you weren't bad.
Well, I've been doing this for 18 years, but I'm still a beginner. That's not even a joke. That's real, but it's kind of funny.
But like that's
something hilarious there.
Like who wasn't a beginner at some point?
Yeah,
exactly.
With everything, shit.
It's more authentic, People want to connect on that level because they're a beginner.
Just like live music. Even if you suck, people still like to hear live music.
It's true.
You guys have seen the gifs of me shaking my ass. These are programmed in Twitter now. But sadly, both of these were from when I was in my beginning phase of learning how to twerk. And I was putting that live on the internet. Just because I got that twerk off coming up Thursday, 8 o'clock.
Much better twerker now.
Boys show. Sorry to point that again. It's a big thing.
Was those beginner twerks any less beautiful than the later twerks? I mean, There's an argument there.
Arguably, there was more pain in the beginning. I never understood like that this was actually going to be difficult. I have some lower back issues. Now, let me pretense all this by saying I want to be in my 40s because I'm a retired veteran. You know, I have my disabilities and stuff like that. I want to be on cruise ships and 40, 50 years old, and I want to be maybe not the life of the party, but I certainly want to be winning the hula hoop contest. Right? I think you're getting it. You know, and we're up there dancing. I want to be like, hey, this motherfucker's getting down. Because when I was in the roller skate rinks, I always saw those old cats fucking doing those cool fucking skating tricks, doing that one leg squat, fucking coasting by me 60 miles an hour, fucking spinning. I want to be that old guy. So I'm trying to learn the twerk. I'm trying to exercise a lot so I can be, you know, flexible, mobile, and have all these moves down. Throughout the twerking, though, I found a lot of supportive men on the internet, and maybe they're just men who are laughing at me and not with me, and that's okay.
That
Because
is okay.
I'm bookmarking it.
some men who are genuinely supportive, and then there's been some women who have gotten supportive, and I appreciate that. Most of them are older, which has become very weird and creepy, but at the same time, I love you
It's
guys.
hot.
You know, it's great for me. It
Lean
works
in.
on my self-esteem. You know, and we'll just keep building each other up. Because one day I'm gonna be on that cruise ship, and I'm gonna be shaking my ass and winning that hula hoop contest, and winning the twerk offs, and you know,
You're gonna get recognized. You're gonna get someone like, I know
Wait a
that
minute.
ass.
I
I
know
saw
that
that one.
ass.
I
I
saw
know
that
that
one went
ass.
viral.
Are you Rando Brad?
I mean,
Will you sign my twerk?
you guys have listened to my Dingling song, correct?
I've seen your dingling video
Yeah.
more times than I want to admit.
That Dingling song, last time I checked, that's got like 400,000 impressions. Now, granted, I plugged that in a few different random places, but solid cover of my Dingling. I need to go back and revisit that with the AI music overlays that I have. Maybe have Cosmic in
Yes.
there, and then we really just, once when I was a wee little boy, my grandmama gave me a wee little. I like to do a little country flair to it. You know,
Hell yeah. I
uh,
grew up
I
on
wanted.
that.
I remember when you were talking about that song, and you're like,
and you were like,
I'm
"Put
gonna
it
put
on
this
my
song on
Dingling."
X, and I think it was awesome. The only thing I got to say from maybe from another musician's standpoint as well, if not another musician, got to work on syncopation.
Yeah,
Da
that word.
da da da.
Well, that's been an issue of mine my entire life. Rhythm.
Rhythm?
Yeah.
It's
Now,
obvious.
I am only, I want to say, the Ancestry.com goes back about 14% African American. Now, you can believe this stat or not. I don't really care. I think it's about 11.
That's
Nevertheless,
more controversial than anything I've said tonight.
Where do you get that number from? Where do you get that number from?
well, Ancestry.com, they go back and forth on that shit. Um, I My mom is like a quarter, just flat out. So if you want to say it, that makes me 12 and a half. I don't think, genetically, what is that? You don't get like the full quarter or half or what, you get parts of it.
Okay.
I don't really know. I think it would be more obvious in certain areas if I was closer to 20%, right? That's what I'm saying. We're doing okay, but anyway,
Can I
nevertheless, what are we getting at
can I derail this derail real quick?
here?
Okay, so last night, right? Baby girl's been sick. So I read her the books. I say she needs me to lay down with her because I normally read the books, kiss her goodnight, say I love you, blah, 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 walk out the room, she falls asleep. I lay down with her and I close my eyes like I'm sleeping. She goes, Daddy. I said, yeah. She goes, you sleep naked. I said, yeah, I do. She has seen that. Like I'm really like I'm not the dad that like showers with my kid. I'm very cautious with all that stuff. I don't like it. But like she knows this. Okay. She goes, does everybody sleep naked? I said, no, like some people do. She's like, but like can girls sleep naked? I said, well, some can. I don't really know. Everyone sleeps different. That's up to them. And then I close my eyes again because I'm like, let's get off of this weird, awkward conversation. And she goes, I think I know how old men sleep. I say, okay. How do old men sleep? And she goes, well, they put their shirt on, then they put their shorts on, and they have a zipper, and they do the zipper, and they sleep with their peanut out, Dad.
Okay.
Just like,
I
where
just
the
wanna
fuck
say,
Where
does
did
this
that
come
come from?
They sleep with their peanut out.
I've done this a few times. It's not often, and it is what it is. It makes me feel comfortable.
You slept with
It
your
was a
peanut out?
Yeah, that'd be correct.
That'd be
Um,
correct. All right, Dale.
it was an accident every time for me.
Every
So
So I just want to throw this out here. For indigenous
here
Puerto
we
Rican.
go.
Okay. Now this is where I think it gets a little hairy because they went to the
Little
Puerto
hairy.
Rico clearly from this.
You ain't got no Puerto Rican in you.
Yeah, and my mom
Indigenous.
is Mayala. Okay, so we got the Benin Togo, the Senegal, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and if you're familiar with history, folks, this is the slave trade region, and they took them over to Puerto Rico, where they were doing the sugarcane operation. Then there's a whole thing where like maybe my great grandma was, getting a little wild and crazy, and little names were getting a little spread out because it was multiple suitors, and that's where things kind of split off. But no, like I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I don't know what all this means.
I mean, do you get to add all of them up? Is that how that works?
I think that's how you get
It's a
100.
specific region.
Okay. I mean, I don't give the government my DNA, so I don't know how this works.
I didn't give the government my DNA. I gave the Mormons my DNA, which is a totally separate fucking.
Totally different thing.
They used the seer stones, and they saw your past, and they percentaged it up from the seer stones.
Right. So I don't know the direct percentage based off ancestry, but this kid actually, my mom always tried to claim that I was just Puerto Rican. That was always the story. And you can look at her, and you can go, look, Mom, if you're a quarter Puerto Rican, shut the fuck up.
I mean, mi vecinas es de Puerto Rico.
I'm not gonna sit here and like bring my mom up and bully dox myself. But no, we got some African American lineage, and it was always a joke in my family. Like, oh, you guys are secretly black. I'm like, when the ancestry came up, and I'm like, so we're gonna talk about this.
Secret's out.
And basically, my grandma in the 40s, 50s, she hooked up with my grandpa, and they were up north in Michigan, Ohio area, and they tried to just cool the idea by saying it was just a Puerto Rican guy from Florida, nothing else. And that was the story that we all just stick with. And now I'm looking at it like, oh, I'm at least 10% African American. That's cool. I would have at least appreciated knowing that growing up. Just
cool points.
I don't know what it would have helped me with, but fucking hiding it didn't help nothing.
Right. I mean, look, where I live, growing up outside New Orleans, I could have helped you a lot. I tried out for the high school basketball team. That was my best sport. And the coach said, hey, this sport isn't for you two. Y'all can go play baseball. This is for my people. That's literally what he told us. And so we played baseball. And actually, he became the principal and sexually assaulted multiple students. And he's in jail now. So there's that.
Full circle.
Full circle.
I was going to catch up. When I was up north, I lived in Wisconsin. When I was in Michigan as a kid, athletically, I was one of the best. I was one of the fastest, most agile. Now, you can take that however you want to, folks.
I'm taking it away.
And when I moved to Florida, clearly, it was about number 12 on the team when it came to speed. Quickly was about number 30th in jumping. It was no longer the most athletic. Maybe that was just region. But the diversity included in Florida, the competition was much more profound, if you will. So
Smoking Jay said he's getting some Puerto Rican in him in jail.
respect. Gotta be careful with those Puerto Rican women. They will throw a toaster at you quick.
Dude, my wife's Colombian. Her best friend neighbor's Puerto Rican. Like, I'm in the middle of it. I'm quiet. Me and old boy just sit there and talk our talk. We're not dumb. You know, we talk our talk to ourselves.
Hey, so I was saying this shit to my wife, and she'll come around that corner and just
But did you really say it? And I said, bitch. But did you really say it?
I looked her dead in her eyes, right in the soles of her sockets.
I almost just spit up my Abita, dude, and that'd have been a sin. That's not allowed down here, South I-10.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 2-syllable word too. Sin.
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 Preacher told me.
Don't ask me where the E is.
It's in there. We spell it different here now. God bless your soul. You want to know the biggest put down from the South? Have some older woman tell you God bless her heart. She just went senile. She went batshit crazy. God bless her heart. She's a sweet lady. God bless her heart. She just didn't understand that. God bless her heart. You can say it behind anything.
Her drawers, bless her heart.
I said with all due respect.
That's all due respect is good too, because it's like, what respect is due? Well, I based on the previous conversation, we've established none. No respect is due. So all due respect.
With all due respect, God bless your heart.
It's the ultimate.
Boom, boom.
Correct at the same time. No, fuck you. I love it. The South is the best.
It's beautiful.
That's a lot of loot. That's a lot of loot.
It's a lot.
I tell you what.
We really went off the rails there for a minute. That's okay.
Tell you what, boy, that's higher than the grocery bill, higher than giraffe pussy. That's the one. I had a boss, and my boss hit me with that one day. We had something going on, and he told me that, and I was like, dude, you can't say that. We say a lot of weird stuff. I don't think you can say that here.
That's
and
awesome.
He did. He was an overall man. If you know what an overall man is, that's all he wore was his overall. Had big old belly, wore his overalls, lived where there wasn't no Wi-Fi. You couldn't contact him on the phone outside of work. He's good dude.
I think I almost ran into one of those one time when I was traveling around Georgia, Louisiana, that area.
Enjoy it.
You could tell as you're going down a certain road in the backwoods trying to find a camping site or something just next to some state property or something, and you see this one turnoff and you're like, I need to avoid that one.
Bro, people down here don't like you. Look, I'll tell you like this. I got a phone call today, and I don't answer the phone often. All right, some dude's getting a roof on his new house. These houses are like 7 years old max, so that's dumb. I get a phone call, and I answer it, and he goes, Mr. Sean. I say, excuse me? He goes, Mr. Sean, we're calling people with roofs over 7 years old. And I said, how do you know my name? Like, how do you know me? I don't know you. He said, well, we got access to public records. And, you know, we're calling about people with roofs over 7 years old. I said, look, man, you ain't got to be all weird and creepy and stalk me and call me with information you're not supposed to have, mother liquor. I didn't say liquor. You know what I'm saying? I said, mother, you know, in the F word. He said, well, you could just say no. And I said, well, you could stop being fucking weird. And then I hung up the phone. Like, don't do that down here. Come knock on my door and say, hey, man, can I inspect your roof? And I'll say, you know, no, but I'll respect you and be nice about it. Don't call me like you know, oh, Sean, we used to hang out in 5th grade. No, we didn't, bitch. Stay off of my roof. It's new-ish.
I need to put my no soliciting sign back up. I used to have it in Florida when people actually used to come around door to door. But they just started
It's over here.
just recently. But that thing has so many things on it. It's like no religion, no fucking. Oh man, it got everything. No loitering, no fucking no sales, no nothing. Don't
But
come to my house for nothing.
don't you live in some creepy country compound? Like I probably wouldn't go knock on your door randomly. You got property. I know better.
Well, I live in the city, so by
I'm the one
city,
in the compound.
um, I live with like 300 houses nearby. So real big city, and we have some order here. I wouldn't say people are just going to shoot you for answering the door. Oh no, Cosmic went down.
Cosmic turned into a webcam utility.
But then he still
What?
hears.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh man.
We back on that first battery, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it had like 30 or 40%. It doesn't really tell me a number. It's just got bars. We had 2 bars.
Mm,
That second battery, though, it played out. It was like peace.
that was it.
All right.
But I could hear you. Brad claims he's in the city. I don't believe it.
It's a city with a population of, I think,
I have
2,500
four-
That's
people.
called a town.
I have 4 times the amount of followers that I do people in my city.
That's a town. That's not a city.
So
It's Wisconsin, so
For
It's a
for
Wisconsin
100
city.
miles in every direction, it's a Wisconsin city.
I don't know the rules. Like so,
Do they have a real city in Wisconsin?
I mean,
Green Bay,
yeah,
Madison.
That's a
Green Bay,
town.
Madison. They've got a couple.
Madison. Okay, that's real. I've heard of that.
Superior.
Green Bay's pretty big though. Green
For
Bay
real?
and Appleton.
Okay.
They have a decent sized industrial complex. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you anything else outside of maybe Eau Claire, or the Wisconsin Dells. Take your pick. One of them might be bigger than the other. Wisconsin Dells have amusement parks and shit like that, so let's call that a city.
Okay. For Midwesterners. I mean, I can't say much. Like we got New Orleans. New Orleans is small. That's not a city. You know. Steven, shake your head, dude. Like it's not like it's fucking Miami or Los Angeles or Oakland or New York
It's a
or
major
Minneapolis.
It's a major port
You got
Culturally,
dissecting the markets
for
in
the
what's up.
U.S.
the port, sure, but I mean, is that
Like
really a city?
population wise, no, but like
Right.
it's a major like
So I
hub.
think the vernacular is going to change depending on where you
Don't you
specifically
use the
are
big
living.
words on me.
The words we use. I grew up in the cities. I haven't been in the Twin Cities for a couple years now, but when I go to big cities now, it's pretty overwhelming because I've lived in small towns for a while, and I traveled the country. I hit 46 states, most of them through some of the biggest cities that we got in this country. But now that I've lived out here for 3 years, Phillips, or wherever we are,
66. I made some money off of that boy back in the Gap. I made some money off of that stock. Like this is like 10 years ago.
I would say this off the top of my head, Boston or Houston gotta be some of the worst traffic, most aggressive people driving,
That's fair.
and maybe the biggest metropolitan areas that I've
We
been
get
to. New York, listen, we can talk about New York City and say that's like 17 different fucking boroughs. And look, are we talking Manhattan or are we talking fucking whatever?
you talking driving, come to Baton Rouge. Baton
Yes,
Rouge
but
is worse.
Boston can be a fucking nightmare. And ooh,
I don't know. Some parts of Houston, Atlanta, I've heard is really really bad.
I've driven in Atlanta.
Atlanta and
Baton
it's
Rouge is worse than Atlanta.
a wonderful place in my heart when it comes to driving. Good God, I try to avoid them too with a passion. But Houston, I think, is where I've had guns pulled on me. In Boston, it was knives. And that if you've been to either of those areas, that checks out. It is what it is. Baseball bats and knives in Boston, Columbus, Chicago, Denver.
I do well there.
Denver's my least favorite.
I need some confrontation in my life.
You can't really
There you
evolve
go.
human beings without learning how to confront one another. Sometimes you have to do it emotionally, sometimes you have to do it physically. Either way, it might end emotionally or physically hurting you.
I
And
love
you're going to find
confrontation.
out something about yourself moving forward, or you're going to find out something about the other person. Either way, you're going to be able to move on from it mutually, as long as you don't go over the top and kill them, because that's too far, folks. We ain't going to say that, okay? That's too much. Have respect. This ain't 1700s where you can slap somebody in the face with a glove and say, I challenge you with your family's respect, and my family's respect you would do.
I miss it.
We
I
can't do
miss
that.
it.
I think that would answer a lot of problems, okay?
What? I think you should be punched in the face once every 3 years.
Just a good reset.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Everybody,
Like
men,
just
women.
Brad or okay,
No, every
everybody,
human,
okay.
every human over 16 or 18. I guess 18 is a legal age thing here, but I think 16 is a good start. I think you should be punched in the
16 is a good
face,
start.
legit, every at least 2 years, maybe 3, but
Solid
like,
reset.
yes, just to realize like this is a possibility.
When I was younger, they stopped it, I want to say 2 or 3 years after I got out, or they were starting to phase it out. Well, they were starting to phase it out once I got in, because when you got promoted on the little lapels, they would basically come up and punch those fucking things in without the back pieces right into your chest.
Yes.
They started to phase that out, so that only happened to me one time with getting pierced. But later on, we were just doing direct sternum punches, which is probably worse if you think about it. You're getting lined up from everybody in the platoon, just punching you right in the fucking sternum.
The bread basket.
What's up, Jigsaw, in the chat?
With your chest straight up. And you're just taking these shots straight to the chest, getting drilled by everybody. And some people, you pissed them off 6 months ago, and they were, yeah, boy. And this was always a good reminder to everybody who got promoted. Look, even on your best day, you can still get fucking punched. It reminded a lot of people, like, hey, even in, I know that doesn't make sense for civilians, but in war, literally, on your best day, you could have coming in, you could have, your buddy pushing, you can't handle it. That probably shouldn't be here.
My chat hasn't updated since 10:06 p.m.
It's been acting up a little bit tonight.
I tried to leave.
YouTube might have fallen off totally, and I respect that.
But isn't like a sternum punch, you can, like, if you get hit in the sternum, you can like stop your heart. Isn't that a thing?
Yes.
You can knock the wind out of somebody for damn sure. That was my go-to move.
I'm not talking about knocking
right below it.
That's fine. Hit your diaphragm. Cool. I mean, like right at the
stopping.
Isn't that what they did to the Bills guy Hamilton before they brought the clone back?
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, okay.
If you're on that wavelength of the heartbeat, you get hit right at that.
The timing.
Beat and
Mhm.
come back. So yeah, in the Army we did that, no problem. Just line up, just take it. And then I'm sure somebody found out the hard way, and that's why they phased that out. Good for them. But at the time, it was a solid reminder.
Yeah. People need that, dude. Too many people, they haven't been in it. They don't know. You need it. I don't get angry in traffic anymore. I used to get road rage, but like the other day, I'm going 80 in a 60, but everyone goes 70 to 80 anyway. I'm in the middle lane of the 3, and this driver cuts me off going about 45. There's no one behind me, right? They could have waited for me to go. And so I'm not going to mess up my gas mileage. So I just let off the gas to slow down, right? You know what I'm saying? I can't get over in the left. That's blocked up. So it gets to the point where I get really close, and I got to start decelerating, hitting my brakes. Well, this person brake checks me at that point. I'm like, motherfucker, you were the one going way slower and cut me off and no one behind me, and you decide to brake check me. Like you got to work on yourself. So I just stay close for a while, you know, just to let them know that, like, one, I ain't scared. I'm Vicalicious. You ain't about to scare me. And when they finally get over for me to pass, they're like doing this stare thing, like, oh, and I'm like, you know, I'm not going to gender this person or anything. I'm not going to describe this person in any way, but I'm like, you need to chill out. You know, like, I'm not even mad. I was just trying to save some money. And you're over here brake checking me. Like, I almost wish I would have hit you and we could have had this talk with the cops, you know?
So, if anybody's ever got their windshield blown out by pennies, and
18 wheelers.
you were being aggressive as shit to some guy in a pickup truck, fuck you. You deserved it, because exactly what he was saying. If you catch me on even the mildest day, and you're playing some fuck games like that where you're putting my life in danger, I keep a stash of pennies right for your ass, where I will cut you right back off, and those pennies will come flying at your fucking windshield so goddamn fast, your shit's gonna fucking just explode, and you're gonna realize
I've
that I need to calm
seen
down.
him do
Maybe
it.
I'm not fucking the smartest person. Hate to say it, some people need that.
Bruh. So back
I
in
need to work on myself. I acknowledge this.
sure. Back in my younger day, me and my roommate, we used to like to maybe partake in some of the stuff you do, Brad, and then go antique shopping, because that was like a fun thing to do. And we hit some traffic on the airline highway where it was stopped, and I'm in the left lane, and we're stopped, right? You know, like, there's nothing we can do about it. We're listening to this AM radio talk show talking about listen up, Huckleberry, and it was fun. It was cool. Well, this dude in a white like S10 decides I'm going to drive the emergency lane. Well, that's not for you.
Yeah, Mark.
That's for police, ambulance, and firefighters, right?
Mhm.
So, Sean, I'm an anarchist. Like, I believe in enforcing the rules I think are important, and I felt like that was important that day. So I take my old white 98 Jeep Cherokee, and I cut off the emergency lane completely. This dude has to hit the brakes because I did it close. I was like, he hits me. Like, fuck it, dude. I'm probably not going to live till 30 anyway. I believe that back then. And he went into the ditch because it's a big median. We got the medians down here. He goes into the ditch and he gets out of his truck all mad. And me and my partner got out the truck. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like, he didn't do nothing. Cops never showed up. Like, I don't think he called anybody. He might have called a tow truck. And we got back in that Jeep and we just putted in the traffic. But, like, that's not for you. I taught him a lesson that day. Young
Yes,
me
sir.
was about that.
I am still somebody. If we got an accident ahead and there's people flying over so that they can merge at the last second, cut people off, I will sit there with my door open,
Yes.
zigzagging.
Dude, I'm coming off of nights.
Smart to zipper ahead. No, you zipper behind me. You piece
That's
of
right.
shit.
Mhm.
I'm coming off of nights and we got a wreck. And these people started cutting the traffic like that, right? So I was like, no. This is a bad wreck. So I end up cutting off the cars in front of me, and I make space where a car could fit between me and the concrete walls for the barricade. Well, guess what happens? The ambulance is trying to get through.
Right.
So he has room between me. I get out my car, and I'm moving cars. Like, I'm arrowing with my fingers. I'm getting people to move cars to make way for this ambulance. And I snake him through the middle lanes. I get him around my car, and he's good to go because I had cut off future people from doing that. So about an hour later, I get to my exit, and I get to the gas station to get my breakfast biscuit on the way in. That person died. The person in that car died. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, if y'all wouldn't have been messing with this ambulance and left that emergency lane for emergency traffic, somebody might be alive. And I mean, that hit me, right? Because, like, I was involved. I tried to help. And there was a couple people ahead and behind me that got out their cars that tried to help too. I mean, dude, it's not a game, you know? And if you get punched in the face once every 2 years, you're going to make better decisions with that.
Could be the only reason you need. But no,
it's them damn reptilians.
You know, we often get caught up, but we're moving fucking fast. We think that our life is the most important life. And if we're not there 10 minutes early so that we can scroll our phone and sit on the shitter or just fuck off, you know, there's real fucking lives at stake here.
Right.
Just
And that's the motherfucking holographic universe.
But absolutely, everything is all fucking connected. Just because you got to get somewhere fast doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't also have to get somewhere fast
Right.
for a right urgent fucking matter.
So look, here's the 3 hours in review. Don't be a dick in traffic. All right, that's number one. The universe is of a holographic nature. You can attune into information
See.
and try to do some weird shit and see what happens. Right? Question your beliefs. Challenge them. Get punched in the face once every 2 years. It's good for you. That's it. That's my recap of It's Different.
And, the CIA can read your thoughts, potentially be in the same room with you.
They're here right now.
Fuck you. Kind of like, you know, we have the Christian belief system, or you know, Jesus is all around.
He sees you touch your Peter.
The CIA is all around.
They see you touch your Peter too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All the same, really. The same entity. It's all the CIA. And they may be manipulating your thoughts and everything. So make sure you have one of those aluminum foil hats lined with lead, so you can protect yourself from the lizard people and potentially the aliens that are out there trying to control your thoughts, manipulate you, and keep you in a state of oppression for the next 50 years. We need free thinkers out there, people.
Use energy protection. Put a condom on your
get
soul.
that. We need that on the merch store.
Put a condom on your soul.
You get all the characters on there. Shout out to Chiba Pet, my small little marijuana plant. Oh, that is growing wonderfully.
Yeah, look at
Now, I
that.
had to get, unfortunately, because it's winter time here, folks. I had to get a germination heating pad. Amazon, $30, auto temperature, and I'm trying to make sure I'm regulating the temperature for the growing. Have it in a nice little tent now, overnight. So it's maintaining heat overnight. And in the daytime, I'm putting it back in the windowsill for sunlight, where it's staying, 70, 75 degrees, and it's all good. But it's Wisconsin here. I don't keep my heat at 70 because if I did, I couldn't afford to fucking keep this show running.
It's 80 degrees down here.
Well, here it's fucking 30. So my heat is
Yes, it is.
That's not good for growing weeds. Like I said, I got a little, germinating mat that's keeping my plant nice and warm. Shout out to Chiba Pet though for allowing me to even grow my own weed by just adding water. It's so simple. It's so easy. Except for I had to get that
Chiba.
germinating pad to make sure it's nice and warm. I want to
Yes, that's where it came from.
healthy flower. All right. We did all the shills.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a lot of lube.
Recap. Yeah,
What did we
check
miss
the
here?
air.
Go outside, nerd.
Oh, I think we missed something. Oh, here it comes.
Oh, not
Oh, we
this.
don't have to play this one. This is more for Wednesday.
This isn't even an ad.
Oh, I had to.
That's just me being shit.
Jazz hands.
Yeah, but that does kind of fit though. Don't eat fast food because
We were talking about that.
Yeah, it's not real.
And again, it just keeps you in a state of mind where you're working for the government endlessly, because we all know that aliens are controlling the government because they're in a fucking secret agreement for a one world government where we're all just essentially trying to continue to keep society afloat, where we're basically just mining gold for the machines so that they can collectively fix their own universe, or they got their fucking heat shield. They got, I don't know, whatever's on that planet.
The Anu's been gone for a while, but they did manipulate our DNA 200,000 plus years ago.
Yeah, and gold is on the rise still. So clearly we're mining gold for a reason. Somebody's using it for their benefit. I don't know what the aliens are using it for, but clearly that's what we're doing.
Their atmosphere.
So,
I have all the answers. All of them.
And that's why we're doing silver here, because the aliens said, look, silver, that does okay. It's not the best.
Steven looks so Dale right now.
I hope you guys are investing in silver. Silver's going to take off. We're all going to have these solar panels on our roofs here pretty soon. And you don't know that silver is practically 10% of all solar fucking operations.
True.
Yeah. All right, we got to go to bed. We got to do this.
Oh,
This
I
has
think
been a
you
show.
wrapped it up
You could
well
have
there.
had this all night. I could have seen you better.
Well, the CIA was watching, so he had to.
Got to be back there in the
Got to undercover
shadows.
it. Like I can change mine. That's
No.
that
There you go.
natural.
I
That's that
was
Simpsons.
uncomfortable. I got real in touch with my vanity when I looked at the camera looking back at me, and it was not a thing I do very often.
6
So
minutes.
Like that.
I have the same issue with my nose.
I felt the low light was best for all of us.
What's best for all of us? All
I
right.
need somebody to do what Cosmic was saying and punch me in the face. If you ever see me, look at this note. I
Yay.
don't need another one from this side, okay? I've had plenty.
Told you.
I need to reset this way.
Mine got broke this way. I reset it. Right in front of him. Blood
I
dripping
need to-
everywhere.
I'd appreciate it. I wouldn't mind. That's the show, boys.
All right. Well, it's been another great show. Thanks
Yeah.
for Cosmic, Stevie, Brad. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to roll us the credits.
One day.
We came up from the bottom, now we top tier. Brendo and Cashman, everyone give a cheer. Higher values in the game, we're the pioneers. Speaking loud, raising high, forget all the fear. This is the moment, we let the world know. Values that matter, let the truth flow. Brendo and Cashman, we rise and we thrive. With higher values, we keep the vibe alive. Tune into the truth, let the wisdom arrive. In the heart of the South, watch our dreams collide. Every episode hitting like we just dropped heat. From the streets to the booth, hear the rhythm and beat. Discussions ignite, in the zone we compete. Connecting with the fan, feel that community heat. We keep it real, never play pretend. This journey of ours will never end. Brando and Cashman, we rise and we thrive. With higher values, we keep the vibe alive. Tune into the truth, let the wisdom arrive. In the heart of the South, watch our dreams collide. Every episode hitting like we just dropped heat. From the streets to the booth, hear the rhythm and beat. Discussions ignite, in the zone we compete. Connecting with the fan, feel that community heat. We keep it real, never play pretend. This journey of ours will never end. From the mic to the world, we uplift and inspire. Thanks for riding with us, let's take it higher.
Okay, so strap in, strap on. We're getting ready to go past moon, straight to Uranus.